Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to So You Think You're Iconic, the movie podcast. And it's spring now.
Let's
Ye-
go.
Yay. My seasonal depression could go back in the closet. Yay.
We can start shoving them back in now. The
Yes.
light stays out for a lot longer.
My fellow seasonal depressioners rise. Our time has come.
Rise.
Ah, I love it. I love the sun
Yes, we do. And the warmer weather.
and the warmer
It's going to get
weather.
warmer this week.
Yes.
It's going to be almost like 80 where I live, like
Spe- oh,
near the weekend.
that sounds great.
Doesn't it?
It sounds
I'm so ready for it.
80. I'm so happy
Mhm.
that it's going to hit 70. That like 80 sounds amazing.
Perfect weather.
Speaking of this week, we are joined by Sabrina again because it's her birthday. When
Yeah.
you're listening to this, hopefully, if you listen the day we drop it, her birthday is the
Yes.
next day. But
Yes.
happy
Yeah.
birthday, Sabrina.
Happy
Oh, thank you.
birthday.
So, what are you doing for your birthday, Sabrina?
I don't know quite yet. I was hoping maybe to go hiking or go do something outdoors and away from other people.
Yay.
Because
Yeah.
last year it was like, the lockdown happened
Oh, she was in
the week
lockdown
before.
last year.
So
Oh,
like
yeah,
Okay.
I
you were.
literally I did not leave my house on my birthday. Like I think I did go on a walk with my dog, but um yeah, I just stayed up the night before as long as I wanted. I stayed up till like 5 a.m.
Oh,
and I just, because like, what am I gonna do the next day? So I just
yeah.
stayed up really late and slept basically my whole birthday away. So that was
Yeah,
kind of honestly the best you can do in lockdown. So
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to all the early quarantine babies. I
Mhm.
was I was like kind of middle
you kind of like
quarantine.
knew what was happening at that point,
Yeah,
what to
so
expect for
like
your birthday.
I didn't
Yeah.
have any expectations of going out.
hmm
I was
It
summer
still sucked.
Well,
quarantine.
like that's the thing, because like it was like what the first or second week of like, stay in your house for 2 weeks. And I was like, okay,
Hmm.
I'll just do something the next week. I'll just do
After.
something later after. And
Hmm.
nope,
Nope.
just that was it.
No.
So
We're still saying that a year later.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, my birthday will happen.
Yes.
We will be
Yes.
going. Like it's happening.
Yeah,
It's
he's
happening.
he's he's booking things, he's planning. It's happening.
It's happening. I've changed the hotel twice. Like it's happening.
Yes.
So, since you're our guest, Sabrina, how was your week?
My week was pretty good. It was pretty busy, just getting the last bits of stuff done before the kids go on spring break. So
Mm.
it's pretty, exciting. Because you have to like gather stuff and make sure they have all their stuff because they go remote for a week after spring break just as a precaution. So you
Oh.
have to make sure they get their packets and they have everything and that they don't leave campus without all their stuff because, a kid
Somebody's
or
gonna
two,
forget
yeah,
something.
is gonna forget something. It's gonna be something vital. So it was just really busy. But I'd rather be busy than like not busy. So
Like the
Hi,
rest of us.
I'm Mr.
yeah.
Non Busy.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about you, Kelley?
It was pretty good. I applied to a lot more jobs this week. I've heard
Same.
back from 3 of them already, though.
Look at
Ooh.
her.
I've gotten assessments and like emails that are like, "Hey, HR is looking over your application right now," and I'm like, "Let's go!" But
Nice.
all of I've never had to do an assessment for a job before, so I thought it was going to be like kind of like a pre kind of interview type thing. But it's basically a personality test.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so confused the whole time. I was just like, because the first part was like job related. And then after that, they're like, so here are 4 words. Which ones are most like you? And put them in a list. And I'm like, okay. And then for the next 15 minutes, that's all I did. I was like, what do you want my zodiac sign next? Or,
Yep.
Would that help at
what's
all?
going
I've
on?
had to do
Right.
that a couple of
Right.
times.
Right. So I did that. It was pretty funny. I don't know why this excited me, but there's a new car wash in town. and we went to it because my car's just been so dirty. I haven't washed it in a long
I
time.
need to wash my car. So
But
bad.
it's one of those like car washes that you see like on TikTok and whatever that people go to at night, and there's like a bunch of lights and the foam is like tricolored and stuff like that. So literally I was just sitting in the car wash like, oh my gosh, look at all the pretty lights. Like I don't know why that was the highlight of my week, but like for some reason going through that car wash was super nice. I think that's like peak quarantine, like enjoying going through a car
The
wash.
simple things honestly just
It really
become
is.
so much better.
That was my week.
How was yours, Jordan?
Oh, I have a lot. Let's start off with what I was going to talk about last week, but we had to cut it short because Kelley had stuff to do.
Yes.
I started watching Smallville.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Here we go.
That show was atrocious. I gave up. I didn't even finish the first season. You know it's bad if I don't finish the first season of your show.
Yeah, if Jordan can still watch Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, I'm still
Like,
watching Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah. He's still up to date. I stopped a long time ago.
And this show is crap, and I'm still watching it religiously. But yeah, the sets look bad. It looks very cheap. Everyone in this town is oblivious to like everything. Like people keep popping up with powers and like no one seems to care. Lex Luthor is hanging out with teenagers. That's weird.
Yeah.
The one black guy they have in town, his hairline is on his fucking back of his neck.
It's so bad. It's literally
It's
like
terrible.
His regular hairline, and then they decided let's give him like an extra little circle.
Yeah,
right
it looks like a
here.
horseshoe.
Yeah.
Bad.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
He's got his forehead is like this long.
And
It's
the
an extra
show-
2
wrong,
inches.
but didn't like a cult spawn from this TV show? Like, didn't 3 of them end up in a cult or something?
No.
What?
One of the lead girls was in that like Nexus or
Yeah, it was like a
Nexum
cult.
cult or whatever. It's not related to the show.
Okay.
But
Well, I didn't know. I couldn't remember if it was like 3 cast members that joined it or if it was just the one.
It was just
Know
the
about
one.
this?
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that was already strike one when I started the show. And then all of this happened. I'm done. I gave up. There was an episode where, what was her name, Kelley? I literally sent you pictures. What was her name?
Oh, Amy
Adams.
Amy
They
Adams.
had Amy Adams in a fat suit. It looked so bad.
It was terrible. Like you could definitely see like from her chin to like the fat suit that they had right underneath it.
Aww.
It was so bad.
It was bad.
Like she looked orange.
Oh.
Like
And-
between them.
And the
It was
entire
bad.
episode pretty much glorified eating disorders. It was bad. It was very bad. But yeah,
It didn't age well.
it did not. That was the first thing I did. That was last week. So let's actually get into this week. This week, on St. Patrick's Day, they were having a Leprechaun marathon. So I watched Leprechaun in the Hood, and we definitely need to do that show. That movie on the show.
Really? Okay.
It was awful.
Like a good
in
awful.
the best way possible. It
Okay.
was so bad. You want to hear one of the lines that the leprechaun said?
Yeah.
A friend with weed is a friend indeed.
I mean, he's not wrong.
That's when I like turned the volume up. I was like, oh, I have to watch
listen.
this. It was awful. Ice-T
That's
is in the
amazing.
movie for some reason.
He's in everything though.
Made no sense to me. But yeah, we're gonna watch that movie. I don't know when, but we will. Like I put it on my list. Like it's happening.
Okay, I'll write it down.
And then yesterday I went to Tahoe. That was fun. We drove up there. We played in the snow for like 2 or 3 hours, and then we just drove home.
That sounds so nice though.
It was great.
Yeah.
We accidentally drove into a ski resort. There were so many people there. Oh my gosh.
Ew.
Like people
Yeah.
everywhere. I was like, whoa, we're still in a pandemic. What's going on? Like, it didn't seem like anyone was spaced out either. It seemed like everyone was like crowded into
Oh.
each other. And I was like,
Like
yes.
a normal day at the slopes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, everyone's wearing masks, but like, can y'all step away from each other for like 2
Family
seconds?
groups.
Right.
So yeah, it was fun though. We like stopped on like the side of the road and like played in the snow with our dog. It was fun.
Oh, that's nice.
That's it was nice. So, Sabrina,
Yes.
it's time for you to tell us about this movie. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the movie opens with the narration of an unknown voice as the camera zooms in on a wanted poster. The narrator confesses that the story about to be told is about his death, but it's actually about a girl named Rapunzel. So we're doing Tangled today, which has been my favorite
Yay.
movie since it literally came out. So let's go. In the next scene, a drop of sunlight falls from the sky, and from it grows a magic golden flower
That
that
made
has
no
the
sense.
ability.
No sense. It was like a piece of sunlight fell from heaven. Isn't heaven above the sun? Like what? That made no sense.
Yeah, well,
Right.
you know, obviously it's based off the fairy tale. So
There's a fairy tale.
Yeah.
yes,
It's a lot darker.
it's so much darker.
I knew there was like a
Mhm.
Rapunzel fairy tale. I didn't know it had anything to do with sunlight and
Well, it didn't come from sunlight. I
magic
think it was
and
just a magic flower. I don't think
Yeah.
the Brothers Grimm, was that who wrote it? I don't
Mhm.
think they like did the lore for the flower, but
Yeah.
in the lore, the king actually has to ask it from Mother Gothel.
Mhm.
And he asked for it 3 times and then he finally steals it. So like they kind of switched it in that way. But yeah, so
Yeah.
it was definitely in the lore in the original story. So the magic golden flower has the ability to heal the sick and injured. The narrator tells of a kingdom called Corona,
yay.
Ah.
where the queen, who is heavily pregnant, has fallen ill. So in order to save her, the king sends out his guards to try and locate the magic golden flower. But the narrator explains that there's an ancient woman named Mother Gothel who has been hiding the flower and using its properties to keep herself young for hundreds of years.
Yeah, she
So-
looks like me if my scoliosis was slightly worse. Like the way she
Ooh.
was just walked in, bags on her face, hood over her head, like me.
Literally how I feel on Fridays, like honest.
Literally me when I wake up in the morning.
Me if I don't have a skincare routine.
Me if I never put sunscreen on, like
Right.
terrible.
Retinol and sunscreen is your like golden
Best friend. Yeah.
products.
So on this particular night, Gothel hears the king's army approaching and she panics, knocking the cover off of the flower in a hurry to get away. The flower is taken back to the queen, who is healed and gives birth shortly thereafter to a golden-haired baby named Rapunzel. To celebrate the birth of their daughter, the king and queen release a lantern into the sky. But this happiness is short-lived, as Mother Gothel sneaks into the castle one night and kidnaps Rapunzel after she discovers she can't just cut off a lock of magic hair, as it dies and loses its power if she does so. So Rapunzel is raised by Gothel, who hides her away in a tower deep in the forest. But every year on Rapunzel's birthday, the king and queen release lanterns in the honor of their lost princess and hope she'll find her way home one day.
That is so cute.
It
That
is.
is
Do
really
you
sweet.
think the
It's
king?
so cute.
Do you think the king accused the queen of cheating? Because
Oh, because of the blonde hair.
when Rapunzel came out, she looked nothing like him. I'm sure he was like, "What's going on here?"
He has to know that it came from the magic golden flower.
Yeah.
I still would have been
I
a little
mean-
suspicious.
That's terrible.
any guard with blonde hair, I would have been like, "Where were you 9 months ago?"
Immediately just fires all
All the
golden-haired workers.
Did you see any blind workers in that castle? Any guards?
Oh, yeah,
you did
whenever their
not.
helmets got knocked off, it was typically brunette, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
Oh,
go.
that's true.
Ooh.
There you
Ooh.
go.
But I mean,
she does look
in-
like her mom.
yeah.
Like later you see that she looks basically identical to her mom.
Yeah, they
so.
just switched the hair color. They were just
Yeah.
like, let's save some money.
So, but also I mean, I have to address this, even though like I get it, but Gothel made a huge mistake in keeping Rapunzel's true birthday. Could have given
Yeah.
her any birthday,
Right.
chose to give her the same exact one. So then she's shook when something special happens on her daughter's birthday every year. And of course, the girl's like, ooh, what's that? Like,
Right.
I don't know
And
why
it
she
only
didn't
happens
just.
on my birthday.
I don't know why she didn't just tell her the truth.
that she was
Not
kidnapped.
that she was kidnapped. About the lanterns. Just be like, oh, it's for the lost princess.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
she's going to be like, am I the lost princess?
Just be like,
Because
no,
it's on
that's
my
ridiculous.
birthday.
Just like, no, that's ridiculous.
Or
It's
she
just
could
a
have just been like,
coincidence.
she just could have been like, it's a castle event, you know?
Yeah.
They're having a party, and then at the end of it, they release lanterns into the sky.
Maybe
Yeah.
like, the celebration of spring or something. Yeah.
Her
like-
downfall was her not telling her what the lanterns were. Like that was her
Mhm.
true
Really, though?
Calling them
downfall.
floating stars. Yeah.
Yeah,
Something like
and
that.
she
Yeah.
w-
Floating
and she's
lights.
like-
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, bruh, I know what stars look like. Those aren't stars.
Yeah. So, it is now present day, and Rapunzel has mastered the art of keeping busy in her tower with the song "When Will My Life Begin." She also hopes to convince Gothel to let her see the lanterns, which will release the next day. So, like, Rapunzel knew how to quarantine before quarantine was like a thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's the queen of quarantine.
Yeah,
Really,
like
though.
if anyone needed ideas, they should have just like listened to that song. It gave you plenty of options.
The fact that she still reads the same three
Three books
twice
twice a day.
daily.
How
Like,
fast does she read? Is she reading those books that fast?
Well, she kind of was flipping through in one scene. Like she really
Yeah.
wasn't reading it. She was kind of flipping through it.
Oh
Cause
my
like
gosh, she doesn't actually know how to read. She just flips through the pages.
oh my gosh, imagine.
oh
But like at some point, she would probably know those books like the back of her hand. She could probably just quote them to you.
yeah.
Like me with
Even twice a
Shrek.
day. Yeah.
Me with Tangled, yeah, like just be able to just
Yeah.
tell you the entire thing. Yeah, because it's so mean of Gothel to like never give her new books. Like that's
Right.
so cruel.
Like
Like
I
we're
understand
totally
that she's-
ignoring
Yeah, she's trying
all
to
the other bad stuff that Gothel
Right,
does, but like
right.
man, the books, come on. Like
Come on. Like you could have at least gotten like fairy tale books or something. It didn't have to be about the real world.
yeah,
You know? Like it could have been about anything if she wanted to keep her super sheltered. But like
right.
new books, please.
Like Kelley and I are both like, this is a atrocity. Like
I know. And then she throws a hissy fit when like Rapunzel like wants something new. Like, girl,
yeah,
just like give it to her. If you don't, then she's gonna like wonder what's out there.
exactly.
Keep
Exactly.
your captor happy.
Exactly.
If you're listening to this, and if I'm ever kidnapped by you, at least give me new books every week.
Right. I'll be quiet. I
I'll
won't
be
make any noise.
quiet. I have social anxiety anyway, so me trying to leave will give me more anxiety than actually staying. So.
Do not give me books.
Don't.
I get bored with books easily. I will literally be halfway through the book and I'll give up. So don't do that to me.
Handheld gaming device, something.
Just give me a Netflix account and one video game. Like I'll just keep
Right.
replaying it. I don't care.
Right. Also, don't kidnap any of us. That was,
Yeah.
you know,
don't.
don't.
These are jokes.
Yeah.
This is a movie comedy podcast.
Yes.
So, meanwhile, two men are lowering a third into a room in the palace. Their goal is to steal the crown that is being displayed there. And they're somewhat successful until one of the men, who goes by the name Flynn Rider, alerts the guards to his presence. But the three men, the other two known as the Stabbington brothers, manage to escape with the crown.
They're called the Stabbington brothers?
They're called the Stabbington brothers.
I did not know they had names.
And they don't actually have first names.
I literally just called them the brothers in all of my notes.
Yeah.
I did not know they had names.
Yeah, so it's actually really funny though, because the director or like the animators and everyone called them Patchy and non-patchy or not patchy because one has a patch on his eyeball.
Yeah.
So they never had names. That's
That's
first
kinda
name.
funny.
So back at the tower, Rapunzel attempts to ask Gothel about seeing the lanterns, but Gothel spends the entire conversation talking over, ignoring, or putting Rapunzel down. When Gothel finally listens to what Rapunzel is asking, she sings Mother Knows Best, where she lists out every dangerous thing with the outside world.
Ooh, the gaslighters anthem.
Yes.
I'm just
Yes.
gonna say this right now. If you watch this movie with your mother and your mother loves this song, look out for that.
Actually,
Maybe go see a therapist like immediately.
it's really funny though, because to get this like kind of authentic, they had the women animators come in and tell them what their mom would say to them, how their moms would just like, and they found out that a lot of what their moms would say would be kind of detrimental to like their physical appearance or how they acted, just as like saying it well meaningly,
Yeah.
but you know, so that's actually
amazing.
a lot of
Like,
where what she
all these
says is
women-
authentic. Yeah.
All these women come in and then they could like, you're like, yeah, my mom said that. And they're like, no, wait, mine did too. And then just all realizing they need therapy.
Just
They're like-
collective. They're like, wait, is therapy covered? Like Disney animations?
they-
like,
right.
can
Like,
we go?
sorry, like me and these women need to take like 5. We need to find out if like therapy is covered, if we can take some time off.
Yeah.
Just reflect. I need to
So-
reevaluate my life.
If you're
Exactly,
if you're working
so-
at Disney and your health insurance doesn't cover therapy, there's a problem.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That's
Like
true.
the people who worked on Up, they
Oh.
need help. They need help.
Oh, that's
Bro,
true.
no, the people who made the music too, okay?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
me just hearing the music, sometimes I'm just like bawling, like uncontrollably. I'm like, oh my
I know.
gosh.
He created something so iconic with his little
Right.
with the Married Life song.
Oh,
Oh man, just took you through it for
Really,
just 3
though?
minutes.
right. I remember watching it for the first time and I just sat, me and my family sat there in shock even until after it ended. We just like paused and we looked at each other and we're like, what the fuck did I just watch? I thought this was gonna be a happy movie.
Did that really just happen? What about the balloons on the cover art?
Right, right. Where are
When
my
are the
happy
balloons
balloons?
gonna come in? He has a single balloon. This isn't what I was promised. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the song and in general, Gothel only kisses or caresses Rapunzel's hair.
Yeah.
She never actually touches Rapunzel in that like motherly way. So it's
Mhm.
really kind of interesting how like
Yeah.
she actually kind of loves the hair more than the girl, which is,
Yeah.
shows her motives.
I watched a therapy video on that, like when like therapists watch a movie and react to it, and they pointed that out, and I was just like, bro, I never
Oh.
even like noticed that. And they were like,
Yeah.
the only caring thing she does for Rapunzel, other than like feed and clothe her, whatever, is brush her hair.
Hair
Like Karen.
That-
is to
It's
keep her
the-
young though.
Yeah.
So like that's not
Yeah.
even like a taking
Yeah.
care of her daughter. That's
Yeah.
a getting something from
Taking
her.
it's taking care of the hair
Yeah.
that takes care of her.
Mhm.
So literally, she takes care of Rapunzel just so she can take care of the hair. And I'm like, bruh.
Yeah, and then we'll talk
So-
about this later a little bit maybe, but Flynn always pushes the hair out of Rapunzel's face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants
Oh,
Rapunzel,
man.
not the hair. And then I'm like,
oh man.
oh,
Such a
this
good
movie is
detail,
so much
though.
better.
Yeah. Okay. So after the song, she then tells Rapunzel never to ask to leave the tower again before leaving herself on an errand. In the forest, Flynn Rider tricks the Stabbington brothers and runs off with the crown. So now he's not only being chased by the palace guards, but by the brothers as well.
How
Flynn,
did the palace guards have posters ahead of the brothers?
I think they just had posters in the
Because
forest.
literally they were running, right? They were ahead of the soldiers, and then they came upon a poster.
Well, I think Flynn has just been doing things
Yeah.
for years. I think they just have always been trying to get him.
Mhm.
Are they that bad at their jobs?
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Jordan, if like the smartest person to come out of
Is a
that
horse?
squad is a horse.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we will get to it. Yeah, we will get to Maximus. But yeah, so he somehow ends up on the back of Maximus, the captain of the guard's horse, who refuses to move at first until he spies the satchel holding the crown. The two wrestle for it and end up crashing to the forest floor.
I love
Flynn,
that scene.
Dude, oh my gosh.
When they
they're
get on the branch and then they hear the crack and
they
they're like,
look at each other.
the look, and then the moment they drop, it kills me every time.
And like the part where they're running and he like grabs his foot and then he like grabs Maximus'
Yeah.
reins and it's just like this really slapstick Oh, it's so good. And when they like fall to the floor and Maximus hits the floor and he like jumps up immediately and he's so like angular and spazzy and fast. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Kind of reminds me of like a dog when like you excite
Yeah.
them and then they like pause and then they like jerk around for a second.
It was definitely, they said that they modeled Maximus and Pascal's like movements and stuff over like Charlie Chaplin and other like silent comedy like actors because that was silent films and it's slapstick and it's
Yeah.
the humor,
Yeah.
but they don't talk, which is really a really good choice because they
Yeah.
have personality, but they're just not talking.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So Flynn, as he hides from Maximus, stumbles across the tower, which he quickly climbs. He has peace for only a moment as Rapunzel knocks him out with a frying pan. She inspects the body and realizes that the guy she probably just killed is actually kind of cute.
Oh yeah,
Flynn
he
wakes
most
up.
definitely would have died.
Yeah. Oh, with what are they?
A cast iron
Cast
skillet.
iron. Yeah.
Yeah. If he didn't die from the first one, he definitely
Definitely
died by the second one.
has brain damage by the second one. Yeah.
Yeah, he has a hematoma somewhere in his brain.
Yeah, he's slowly bleeding out in his brain.
So Flynn wakes up a few minutes later and is promptly whacked over the head once again. Rapunzel stuffs him in a closet and assesses the situation, but as she's thinking, she notices the crown in the satchel. She puts it on and looks in the mirror at herself, but there's no recollection.
No connection.
No
Yeah.
connection. She puts
No
it on her
connection.
arm. She looks through it like an eyeglass. She puts it on her head. There's a moment between her and Pascal, and they're both like, nah.
Yeah, I love how they're like, wow, this could be no.
I don't know what this
feel
is.
it.
Yeah. Gothel's voice could be heard calling out to her, and she quickly hides the crown and satchel before pulling Gothel up via hair.
Rapunzel can lift. She lifts. She has to lift because she pulls up 100-pound woman up 3 stories in the air minimum, and she's like 17 years old
with her own hair.
Yeah, I mean, they said that her hair is on average like 10 pounds, and it's 70 feet. Yeah, so like her neck muscles must be like freaking huge, dude.
Her neck and her shoulders, she's like super
bulging.
Buffed. Yeah. There's no way that she's not.
Yeah, and then imagine when they braid her hair.
Mm-hmm.
That's not dragging on the floor anymore. That's just 10 pounds on her head.
Yeah.
At that point.
And she's like whipping it around like it's nothing.
She's not like top heavy either. She's able to just like carry it. Yeah, that's crazy.
That would have been funny if like the minute they finish the braid, she's just like goes back.
Boom. Like she has to get used to it. Yeah. That's pretty good because she's never had it up before. So like that's probably a new experience for her, having the weight distributed in a different place. Like that's So Gothel apologizes for the fight they had earlier, but Rapunzel starts to explain that she's more than able to take care of herself in the outside world. And as she readies to show Gothel the person she has in the closet, but Gothel's angered that Rapunzel refuses to let the idea go and explodes, telling her that she's never going to leave the tower. Rapunzel realizes ever. Yeah. Oh gosh. Rapunzel realizes that she can't tell Gothel about the person in the closet, so she asks Gothel for white shells to make paint out of because she knows it'll take Gothel a few days to get them. Gothel agrees to fetch the shells and heads out.
We love a scheming girl.
Yeah. Well, that's it's just so sad because she's like asking her for it and she's like, I just thought it was going to be a better idea than the stars because she knows what they are. She knows they're not stars, but she's like telling Gothel like, okay, I believe you. Okay. Which is really sad that she has to like trick her. But
and then even when she asked Mother Gothel for those seashells, she's like, that's going to take forever.
Exactly. She's like, wow, she's giving you a better option. She's letting it go now. Why won't you just do it? But Gothel still has to be like, oh, so much work.
Yeah. Right. Also, what does Mother Gothel do during the day?
She goes out and does something because she's never home.
Yeah. Because I feel like she is there in the morning and then like brings back food to make at night. And that's it. And I'm like, bro, what do you do all day? And you're not close to any towns or anything. Like, what do you do?
Exactly. Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
But like, honestly, that's kind of sad that she's like showing like Rapunzel that she can leave. She can go whenever she wants, wherever she wants. Rapunzel has to stay. Like when she leaves the first time and she's like, I'll see you in a bit, my flower. And then Rapunzel's like, I'll be here.
Yeah.
Like,
forever.
Oh, yeah. Like, man. So Gothel gone, geez, Rapunzel opens the closet and ties the still unconscious Flynn to a chair with her hair. When he's woken up by Pascal, Rapunzel confronts him. Once Flynn assures her that he only came to the tower accidentally and not because he wants anything to do with her hair, she decides to strike a deal with him. Going to the part where he's like, "The only thing I want to do with your hair is to get out of it."
Just get out of it.
Literally. Like, oh gosh, the way that Zachary Levi delivers Flynn's lines are
No.
so good.
Like he's always been good, but like him as Flynn Rider.
Yeah.
So good.
She wants him to take her to see the lanterns and bring her back to the tower, and when she's safely back home, only then will she give him back his satchel. He tries to weasel out of it by giving her the smolder, which is basically like those cringy TikTok faces where they like bite their lip and like stroke their
Yeah.
chin. You know what I'm talking about?
Actually, I think it's blue steel. Have you guys seen Zoolander? I think it's like blue
Yes.
steel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hoping to make her swoon, but Rapunzel is seemingly immune. So Flynn
Has
relents
that ever
and
worked for
agrees
him?
to take her. Clearly, because he says this is kind of an off day for me, because she's just like looking at him like, is he okay?
She's never seen a
I
man
wonder-
before, so
That's
she's
true.
Oh,
confused.
that's
this?
true.
Yeah.
She's like, is this normal behavior for human adult men? Like
A ruffian thug.
She's like, do their faces just like squish together like that? Like,
Right.
what's happening?
she's like, what are you
happening?
conveying to me? This is not it.
Also, he's gotten hit with that frying pan 3 times actually, because he goes, "It's in that pot, isn't it?" And then she freaking
then
knocks
she
him out
knocks
again.
out.
Yeah, so 3 times. So he's been stuffed in a closet
Yeah.
and hit with the cast iron 3 times. Like that
Yeah.
poor guy.
Brain damage.
And then
Something's
his
wrong.
hand getting stuck in the closet door.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then her having to like shove it back in.
and like the sound it makes and like the sucking noise it makes, and like she's like pushing it in. It's so funny.
That man is broken.
He's so broken, and he falls on his face too. Like when she opens it, he just like
Yeah.
like on his
And
face.
the force with which she used her hair to stuff him into the closet. That man is hitting his head further on the back of the closet every time she attempts to shove him in. I'm like, bruh.
Poor guy. Like, man, he's probably dealt with so much in his life, but never before had he truly met his match with this like young girl who's like been in the tower her whole life. But honestly, that's kind of how I'd react if like I was in a dangerous situation. I just go crazy, just like, do anything
True.
I can to just like treat this person like trash.
True.
Because it's like, if you're attacking me or if I'm scared of you, I'm not gonna let you like get off easy.
Right.
Like I'm gonna try to like mangle you somehow just to like
you came into my house.
Exactly.
Like
I don't know how you expect to just walk around. Like, no, no.
Like make yourself at home. No.
No.
Get out of my home.
So, as Rapunzel readies to leave the tower for the first time, armed with the frying pan and Pascal, she sings "When Will My Life Begin" the reprise. Soon after, oh, dude, it's so sweet.
That one like hurts my heart a little bit.
I know.
Because like she stops before she like touches grass, and I'm like,
exactly. She's like, "Am I actually gonna do it?" And Pascal's like on her shoulder at the beginning. He like ties a piece of hair on his waist, and he's like, "I'm ready to go." And you're like, "Oh, she's not gonna be alone though. She has Pascal."
How was she planning on getting back into this tower?
She has a hook. That's how Gothel gets up. She probably is gonna just hook and pull herself up.
How's she gonna get her hair up there?
She did it the entire movie where she used her hair as like a lasso and like
she can throw it up like 100 feet minimum, and then
it's 70 feet. That's how long her hair is. So the tower is 70 feet.
I'm not believing she could throw it up that high. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean
that, or maybe she could do like what Flynn did with the whole
just or climb up.
Yeah, because
I mean,
she has the upper body strength.
Flynn will find a way to get her up there if he wants his satchel back. Like he's gonna find a way to get her back into that tower.
If I was Flynn, like before we even left, I'm like, okay, so like, how do you get back up here?
Right. So like, do you have the key to get back in, or?
Right. Where's the door? Like, how do we get back up here?
So soon after leaving the tower and experiencing the world for the first time, Rapunzel swings between being extremely happy to be out and deeply guilty for disobeying Gothel. Which, oh my gosh, that whole scene, that's actually the first scene that they fully animated.
Oh.
Just to like give you an idea of like her personality and stuff and like the whole point of the movie. And gosh, it's so funny because she's like, she goes from being like best day ever. And she's like, I'm a terrible daughter. Like, just,
Yeah.
that's it.
Like,
I'm going back.
This is gonna break her heart.
I am never going back. Yeah, it's so great.
Yeah.
So Flynn uses this uncertainty to try to convince her to go back to the tower, but Rapunzel is determined to see the lanterns, which is so funny because she's crying and he's like, I can't help but notice that you're a bit of at a war with yourself here. And he's like, will this break her heart and crush her soul? Of course, but you just have to do it. She's like, crush her soul? And he was like
a grape.
Break her heart? Like, oh yeah. Break her heart like a grape. Yeah. Crush her soul? Like a grape. You're
amazing.
right. I have to go back. Oh,
I have to go back.
I'm right. Yeah, it's just so great. Your pan and your frog, like it's so good.
Yeah. Here's your pan, here's your frog.
Yeah. So he gets a new idea, however, when Rapunzel's spooked by a bunny that comes out of the undergrowth, and they head for the Snuggly Duckling, a pub deep in the forest. In the meantime, Maximus is still on the hunt for Flynn when he runs into Gothel, who quickly notices that he's a palace horse but without a rider. Based on this, she fears Rapunzel has been found and races back to the tower, where she calls for Rapunzel, but there is no answer. She goes to a hidden entrance at the base of the tower and climbs up to find her fears confirmed. Rapunzel is gone.
How did she rip out all of those stones, by the way?
If you're frantic that the one thing keeping you alive literally is gone, like I'd be like superhuman strength too, like trying to like
Or I would have been able to kick that door open with my foot. I would have been like,
because like she's ripping stones out of that tower.
Yeah.
And then she's like ripping the door open. I'm like,
she's like banging the door.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the floor stone up. Yeah.
I'm like, dang girl, go off.
She ransacks the tower and discovers the satchel, crown, and wanted poster of Flynn, all of which have been hidden under a false stare by Rapunzel. Gothel, now knowing who took Rapunzel, grabs a dagger and goes to find the pair. Which, I mean, that scene kind of makes me giggle. I know it's a serious scene, but it kind of makes me giggle because she like opens and she rips it open stuff and she says a man and she like throws it and she's like, like, no, it's actually, I guess it's the crown, but like that she sees and freaks out, but it's still like, your daughter who has never been around a human male in her entire life, like now you know that she's just with a man, like so that's just a lot of stuff that Gothel is like trying to work through, like, oh my gosh, she's with a guy, like, oh no.
Also, I wonder if like, because you know every wanted poster of Flynn is messed up.
Exactly. So she doesn't know what he actually looks like.
I wonder if like when she actually saw Flynn for the first time, she's like, is that the right guy?
Wrong nose. Wrong nose.
Wrong nose. It's not nearly as hooked. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like doing the whole thing where you like cross it out on somebody's face, and she's like, "Oh no, yeah, that is him.
That is him." Yeah. So Rapunzel and Flynn arrive at the Snuggly Duckling. When they enter the establishment, Rapunzel is horrified to see that it's teeming with ruffians and thugs, the two things that she fears the most about the outside world. But before Flynn can really scare Rapunzel into going back into the tower, the thugs discover a wanted poster with Flynn's face on it. And when they remove the finger and it has his long Pinocchio nose, and he's like, now they're just being mean.
Yeah.
Like, they send a thug to fetch the palace guards as they want to turn Flynn in for the reward money. But Rapunzel fights back, explaining that she needs Flynn in order to fulfill her dream of seeing the lanterns.
The guy that screamed, "What about me? I'm broke," should have got to turn in writer.
Yeah, like I feel that.
Do you know how much it takes to confess in front of a whole room of men that you're broke?
Yeah, that you're broke. Yeah. Right, like those are your homies, and you're just straight up saying, "I am dirt broke.
I am poor.
I need the money."
Like I need a quarter. Like, can anyone give me a quarter?
Right. Like, y'all go home at night. I literally sleep outside of this bar.
Yeah.
Like,
oh god.
The secret passageway, that's my house. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, I live in a cave. Okay.
It's very drafty.
So, but can you imagine the palace having just fun? Because they're like, yeah, this guy has been terrorizing us, like stealing from us, doing all this stuff for like years. Like, just mess with him because it's gonna drive him nuts. Because I'm like blanking on the word here, but you know, he just sees so much of himself that like we just mess up his nose. It's gonna drive him nuts. Like, maybe we'll drive him nuts so bad that he'll just come and be like, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Like
if you make it ridiculous enough, he'll come in and be like, this is enough. This is the last straw.
Like, have you guys heard that story of that guy who, when the cops let out a picture of what he looked like, he sent them a better picture? like that.
No,
You haven't heard about that?
I haven't heard
I
about that.
feel like, yeah.
He
I've
didn't.
heard
Yeah,
of that.
like the cops were like, "This man is wanted," and then like he sent them a better picture because he didn't like the picture that they put out.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, if you're just that into yourself, then yeah, that's really gonna bug you. So so the thugs share their own dreams in the song I've Got a Dream that bond them to Rapunzel.
I love that
Flynn even
song.
shares a dream of his own, although it's shallow and unrealistic.
I mean, I have the same dream.
To live an island on your own, tan rested and alone, surrounded by enormous piles of
Put
money.
piles of money.
Absolutely, it's like the quarantine dream.
It's so funny though, because like once he's faced with like swords and death, he's like, I can sing.
I can
He's
sing.
like, oh
Right,
no, I
right.
don't
He's
sing.
not.
And then-
He's not like, "What's your dream?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't sing."
don't
And then all of these like, on second thought,
thought.
I was in
"I'll
Glee Club,
dance
but I
as-"
was in college. Let's
He's
go.
like, I'll dance as well.
Right, right. Like, you want a full routine? I'll give it to you.
But like
Also, the
hook
second
man-
guy, yeah, the hook guy. Like,
hook hand, yeah.
No, well, the second guy that was like, all he really wanted was love.
Oh yeah. I forgot what his name was, but yeah. Oh my gosh,
During the
it's so
song,
sweet.
the
Yeah.
hook man destroys the piano and then proceeds to continue playing
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah,
piano.
yeah. 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 Also, how do you play piano with a hook?
Yeah, that made no sense.
Well, I think he kind of like he would hit one thing and then like turn his hook and play the yeah,
Okay.
but like I'm sure he like modifies his right hand or his I forgot left hand to like make sure he can play, but I'm
Yeah.
sure he can't play like classical music.
Yeah,
It's
because I
probably just
love that.
whatever he
Like,
feels like writing.
yeah, like when he like destroys the piano because of the. And I'm just like, how do you like daintily hit a piano key with like the tip of your hook?
Yeah,
Like,
you
Yeah.
don't.
very.
You're just-
It's
Yeah,
giving
like,
it's giving me Raptor. Like
It's big raptor vibes. It's very chicken typing, but
Yeah.
with a hook.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was pretty great. That whole scene is really sweet because like you see like Vlad collects ceramic unicorns,
Yeah.
like Gunther does interior design, like they all have these like hobbies that they love and adore. They just feel like because of the life that they've been given, they feel like they can't pursue these careers, which
Also, the fact that like everybody knows about their passion and like
Yeah.
they're so supportive.
supportive, yeah.
I love that for them because they're like,
Exactly.
"Yo, you make cupcakes; those are bomb. Like the next time we have a meeting, can we get some of those?" Like
Exactly.
that's so great of them to like support
Yeah.
like their fellow ruffians and thugs.
Thugs, yeah, it's a good support system. Good on them. Like
Right,
most people don't
right.
have that. Like,
Right,
yeah.
right. Like there's no toxic masculinity. They're just like, you know
Mm-mm.
what? You like what you like. Great. I support you.
Yeah. Oh my
But
gosh.
also, I think the only thing that like gets me in the scene is like the really old guy that they dress up like
Short Thug.
Is
Yeah.
that what his name is?
Yeah, that's his name is Short Thug. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like
pretty
they
great.
like swing him around the thing, and I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Dude, it's really funny though. Like when they first enter the Snuggly Duckling and she like sees everyone, she's like freaking out. She's like, and one of them, I think his name's Brown Thug. He has her. I'm serious. His name's Brown Thug. Yeah.
Do they all have names?
Not all of them. Only 14 are
Okay.
named. There's 30 in there, but only 14 have names.
Okay. Do they all have thug in their name?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
Young
it's
thug,
basically
brown
Young
thug,
thug. Yeah, it's
Short
basically short
thug.
thug, tall thug. Yeah.
cross-eyed thug.
Only Hook Hand really has like a different name, and Bruiser and
Oh,
Attila. Well, Attila is Attila the Hug. Thug. Hug. Yeah.
The hug thug.
But yeah. Anyways, so like when she's coming in, he's holding her hair and he's like, "That's a lot of hair." And he was
Oh
like,
yeah.
and he's like,
She's growing it
"Hondi,
out.
look at all the blood in this man's mustache. Good Lord, that's a lot of blood." That's
Also,
so
when he's
funny.
like, it's like it. Like he's talking about the smell, and he's like, "It all just comes to this. Smells like the color brown."
Brown.
Like,
Oh, it's so good. So, the thug that was sent to get the guards returns with them. The guards also have the Sappington brothers in their captivity. Hookhand shows Rapunzel and Flynn a way to escape through a secret passage behind the bar as he tells Rapunzel to go live her dream. And then Flynn goes, "I will." And it goes, "Your dream stinks."
She's
I was
like-
talking to
I was
her.
talking to her.
So, as the guards search the pub, Maximus arrives and quickly finds the secret passage with his super sense of smell. because he comes in, just crawls across the floor, finds it immediately.
I love that he split the crowd.
With
That means that he
stands up.
stood on his back hooves and dramatically split the crowd and was like, "It's my turn."
And then he
Let's
got
go.
back on fours and was just sniffing the whole way through. In the passage, Flynn and Rapunzel have a moment where he compliments her on her bravery in the pub, but before they can talk about anything truly important, they see the guards and Maximus chasing them. The cave leads to a quarry where they are trapped on a ledge, but Rapunzel uses her hair to jump to a different platform, while Flynn fights off the guards with the frying pan. He seems to have met his match, however, with the sword-wielding Maximus.
Maximus can do anything.
He really can. He really can.
That was so funny because he turns around though, and he's like faced with this like horse with a sword in its mouth, and he's like caught off guard because he's like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, like what are you gonna think when you turn around and just see a horse with a sword, and you're like, what?
And
Are
you
we
already
gonna
kind of know this,
fight?
this horse is crazy. Like Maximus is just a little insane, so like it's not gonna be good.
Because this horse recognizes you as a person and has been chasing you around all day, and now he has a sword and a crazed look in his eye. Like Brown would have been like, you know what? I'm out. I'm gonna take myself out because this is too wild.
Right, I'm just gonna jump off of this ledge. Like
Right.
it's time to go.
Right.
And it's really funny that he has the heavier weapon,
Mhm.
and yet Max still just beats him because he just like
Yeah.
knocks it out of his hand.
Like if Rapunzel didn't like come to his safety, Maximus really would have killed him.
Killed him. Yeah, straight up. So Maximus comes to his rescue as she loops her hair around his hand and attempts to pull him over to her, but she slams him into a protruding plank. He climbs up onto an aqueduct and encourages Rapunzel to jump to him as Maximus downs a plank and has now made a bridge to his ledge to Rapunzel's.
Hilarious. The way he was galloping across that
He was like
was so funny.
like high stepping, like he was gonna come over to her the fastest way he could, like he was wasting no
that was
time.
the funniest part of the entire movie to me. Like I was dying.
Because like immediately he's like, I need to get to her, and then the minute it gets down, he's like, wait, but it's too tiny.
Right.
Also, I'm so sad this is not a visual medium because all of us in sync just doing like a weird high
doing
step.
like a high step with our hands. Oh gosh. She leaps towards Flynn as Maximus just barely misses grabbing her hair in his teeth, which would have hurt so bad.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I feel like that would have just cut her hair off.
Yeah,
At that point.
Probably.
What if it did?
And then
like,
the
her
movie
hair
ends.
It would have been a lot shorter of a movie.
Her hair just turns brown. And she's like, whoa.
Oh, but like she would have fallen to her death though, because she like jumped off a ledge.
That's why I said the movie would have been over.
Landing on the quarry.
Flynn would have just went to prison.
Yeah.
Wow, it would have ended really bad for everyone involved.
Mother Gothel would have died. Flynn would have went to prison.
Oh my gosh! And then
Rapunzel
they would have had to tell the king and queen that they killed their daughter.
They probably wouldn't know it because she has brown hair. They would have been like
they'd just be like, yeah. I mean,
but when they see her again, she has brown hair.
But I think she like.
Well, that's because she goes to the she goes to the palace and she.
But then
yeah, because they would have been like, yeah. I mean, Flynn Rider's dead. He had an accomplice.
Yeah,
she died too. Like, and she really wouldn't have ever come back. Their daughter, they just would have kept releasing lanterns for the rest of their lives, not knowing if she was out there.
What if they never try to have another child? I know she almost died the first time, but like,
I mean, honestly, if I almost died the first time and magic flower saved my life, I would have been like, no, we're not doing this.
Right?
It's not up to her. They need an heir. Who's gonna run this country? Like she needs to.
It ends with them.
She's like, no. It ends with us. Like we can't.
When we die, you guys can vote
Our child
for
is
a new
gonna have
king.
to like.
Right. The king's like, maybe just one more, and she's like, do you remember last time? Because I do.
Were you pregnant and almost dead? No.
Right. Did you not send a bunch of your soldiers out to find a magic flower for me? Like
to keep me alive? Yeah, like there's no more magic flowers, bro. Like that was it.
She's like, what? Is there a field you know of somewhere or what?
What?
I am not doing it.
That seemed like it was the only one. So like
Right. Like, what about your brother Steve? Like
Yeah.
he can come up and start ruling now.
Hey,
Okay.
isn't there like a kingdom with like distant cousins that has 2 daughters? Maybe one
Yeah.
of them can come over
Yeah.
and do it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they
Yeah.
have 2 daughters. Yeah,
Yeah. Maybe they want to marry one of your cousins or something. Like
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
you got nieces and nephews, they can rule. I'm done.
So, landing on the quarry floor, Rapunzel runs towards a mine opening as Flynn slides down the aqueduct to join her.
That
But
was
the
dumb.
aqueduct is no longer stable and it crashes down. Water rushes through the quarry, washing everyone but Rapunzel and Flynn away as they narrowly reach the cave opening. Pieces of a downed rock pillar block their way out, and they watch helplessly as water spills inside, filling the space.
Running into a cave was very dumb.
Well, listen, they came out of a cave. Who knows? They didn't know
Yeah.
that was the dead end.
Yeah.
You never know when you walk into a cave what's going to happen. I don't know why you would run into a
That
cave.
is true. But I mean, if they had this whole system up, then you would just assume that this is like a worker's place because there's like the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Quarry,
So
yeah.
you're probably just like, this is probably an exit, or it leads to like a bunch of rooms where we can hide out or find our way out. So
Exactly.
yeah.
So
And it was that or get crushed by a big rock pillar.
Rocky,
So
exactly.
It would have been easier if they ran left or right instead of running straight the entire time when the rock is falling down straight.
Listen. If a big rock is falling towards you, I don't think you're thinking very well. You're just thinking like
Yeah.
your little alien rodent brain is like escape, find a way. Yeah, just like find a way out. Yeah. So
yeah, it's just like run.
yeah. Get out. Yeah. So Rapunzel attempts to break her way out with a frying pan while Flynn throws his body against the walls, but it's futile. The two accept that they're going to die, but Rapunzel apologizes for getting them into this situation. Flynn tells her his real name, Eugene Fitzherbert, as a way to comfort both himself and her. Rapunzel also shares a secret. She has magic hair that glows when she sings. And he goes,
Terrible
"What?"
question.
Yeah.
If Rapunzel did die, could you still use her hair?
Probably not.
Like, could you just
I
like
don't know.
drag, like embalm her or something, drag her body around and
She
still
has to
use her
sing.
hair?
Because
She doesn't have to sing.
could the
Anybody could
hair live
sing.
on without her?
Probably not.
Like does that count as, because it wasn't cut,
Yeah.
but is she like the life source of it, like inadvertently?
I feel like it is. I feel like she is.
That sucks.
Yeah. So
a
Mother
bit-
Gothel would have died anyway.
Right, eventually she's gonna die.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Because she aged, because at the end
unless
she
she
dies
starts
very
keeping.
quickly.
Well, maybe Rapunzel could have been kept youthful because like it's her hair, so she could always sing to herself. So maybe
Oh.
Gothel would find a way to like make sure Rapunzel holds it in her hand so she continues to stay youthful, and maybe that's
Oh,
the
that's
whole plan.
crazy.
They both stay youthful and young forever and ever and ever. Yeah.
Ah.
And she was probably just waiting until Rapunzel got like to be like 100 but still youthful and stuff, and be like, everyone who's like, then she would have dropped the bomb like,
Yeah.
yeah, actually I kidnapped you and whatever, but it's too late now. It's just the two of us because like everyone
We've
you love is
outlived-
ready. You
yeah.
outlived everyone. Yeah.
What was Mother Gothel's like end plan? Was it just to stay young forever, or was
Right.
it like?
Yeah. She's already
I
lived
literally
for
wrote that
thousands
at
of
the
years.
end. I was like, so what was gonna happen there? Like, how would she explain this to Rapunzel? Like, how they're both living forever.
Well,
Mhm.
Rapunzel knows, I think.
Yeah.
And it's her mom, so she doesn't mind like healing her,
Yeah.
keeping her young and stuff.
Yeah. And if she doesn't notice that her mom's getting older, then she wouldn't know a normal human lifespan.
Yeah.
So
'Cause
she
that's the only
wouldn't think
other
any of
person.
this is, yeah. That's so odd though, because like, when you watch those like movies or whatever of like people wanting to be young and beautiful forever, they want to do it because of people looking at them.
Mhm.
That's why I'm like, is she doing something during the day that like satisfies her need to be young and beautiful? Like,
Probably. Yeah. She probably goes into town. She probably has a nice, cute man that she flirts with. Like, who knows?
she has like 2 or 3 families and like
yeah, she has like a
different
whole
areas.
other life, and like she just never like sleeps at their houses. She's like, I gotta go.
She's like,
Mhm.
I've got to go. I have some horses to go take care of. I'll be back in the morning.
Morning,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's kind of funny.
This is where we find out that Mother Gothel has like 3 different lives. Like,
3 different names. She's got 3 different men.
yeah. So suddenly an idea comes to Rapunzel and she starts to sing just as the water covers their heads. And sure enough, her hair starts to glow, thoroughly spooking Eugene. In the glow of her hair, they see a water current that leads them to a wall where they're able to remove some rocks and escape, pushing them out into a river. Eugene is still reeling over the fact that Rapunzel's hair glows while she's just elated that they're alive.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
He
Her hair
literally
glows.
fights off a horse that had intent to kill and then finds out that her hair glows and
Well, they
not
almost
just that
died.
it glows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been through it. It's been a long day.
And then she drops another bomb. It doesn't just glow. In a different part of the forest, the Stabbington brothers come out of the intended exit of the secret passage and are confronted by Gothel. She hands over the satchel and crown, claiming that she can offer them something worth more than 1,000 crowns that also comes with revenge on Flynn Rider. Back with Rapunzel and Eugene, she wraps her hair around his hand that was injured in the cave and starts to sing. When she finishes, Eugene unwraps his hand to find it completely healed, and before he can scream, Rapunzel pleads for him not to freak out.
And she inadvertently healed his hematoma.
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah. Also, I love that like before his hand gets healed, Pascal's just like shows him his hand. He's like,
Yeah, he's like
that. Look at your hand when the time comes, and he's just like,
yeah.
what is going on?
Naturally, he has many questions, so she explains that Gothel told her people wanted to cut her hair and take it for themselves, but once it's cut, it turns brown and loses its power. And she had to protect something so precious, which is why Rapunzel never left the tower. But she changes the subject and asks Eugene about his name. He brushes it off at first, but when she shows genuine interest, he decides to open up. Yeah, so he tells her that he was an orphan, and every night he would read a book to the younger children, the tales of Flanagan Ryder, that told of a hero who seemingly had everything, and to a child who had nothing that seemed like the greatest life imaginable. He quickly tells her that she can't tell anyone, though, because it'll totally ruin his reputation. And he makes up an excuse to go be on his own for a while because I too want to run away after sharing something vulnerable.
He probably like immediately did that, and he's like, oh my god, I overshared again. I gotta go.
Let's go for a walk. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
time to
I
go.
need to cook some firewood. Goodbye.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I have opened the emotional bottle I haven't touched in 20 years. Let's just
I need
shove
to
that
go
back in.
stitch it up. 1 second.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Give me a moment while I go compose myself and
He's
scream
like,
out into
this
the
is
abyss.
what happens every time I open my mouth.
Right. I overshare, and then I lose another person in my life. So never doing that again.
Oh. So, but before he gets too far away, Rapunzel tells him that she likes Eugene Fitzherbert much better than Flynn Rider, and he tells her that she'd be the first. Just so cute. So once he's gone, though, a voice is heard from over Rapunzel's shoulder, and she's surprised to see a haggard Mother Gothel. She asks how she found her, and Gothel quips back with the I just listened for the sound of complete and utter betrayal and followed that, which is, I don't know. If I was on my own for, like, I know she's only been like on her own for a day, but if like my mother, who told me I could never leave and stuff, came and told me that, I'd be a little angry. Like, Rapunzel's a better person than me because I'd be like,
Same.
listen here. Like, I'd really just, that would set me off.
Yeah. Because I'd be like, have you been following me this whole time? And why are you now just coming up after me? You know, why are you saying something now? And also, like, the world isn't as bad as you think it is. Like, come at me, dude. Like, I'll fight you now.
Yeah. So
I won't even speak because you all know I have a very loose tongue. I will hurt your feelings without even trying to hurt your feelings. Like,
it would have been on site for you.
Yeah. She would have showed up and I'm like, what are you doing here? She would have said that crap. I would have been like, oh, okay.
I see how it is.
I
Yeah.
see how it is. You're gonna walk up to me looking like you aged 30 years and you think you can just come talk to me like that?
Yeah. So Gothel demands for the two to go home, but Rapunzel tries to explain how good the experience has been for her. Gothel interrupts with Mother Knows Best, the reprise, where she completely degrades Rapunzel's choices. But Rapunzel stands up for herself, which angers Gothel, who produces the satchel and tells Rapunzel to give it to Eugene and see how long he'll stick around before she herself disappears into the forest.
That was like she went off on Rapunzel, and she really didn't need to go that hard.
But like, cause she, like her feelings were hurt. Like I mean,
Yeah.
that's not an excuse. Like it is never an excuse to degrade someone and make
Hmm.
them feel bad. That's not okay ever.
Right.
But like the person that you kept under lock and key for 18 years is defying you, and you had control over her, complete control for 18 years. Like she's gonna lose her mind because like she's losing control and she knows it.
Hmm. Yeah.
But oh my gosh, she just really just went in on her because she's like,
Honestly.
oh, Rapunzel knows best. Rapunzel's so mature now. Like, oh my
Right.
gosh, she really wanted to hurt Rapunzel's feelings. Like,
Right.
honest.
Like when Rapunzel's just all like, you know what, I like this guy. Like, this is the first other connection I've ever had with anybody. It's really nice. And she's like, oh, you think he likes you? Really? Like, have you seen yourself? And I'm like, bro, you didn't have to go that far.
Yeah.
Like that was like the one of the first things out of her mouth. And I'm like,
Mhm. She's like, that's demented. Like, she's like, look at you. You think that he'd be impressed? Like, oh
right.
my gosh.
Right. Like she's really hard pressing that like seed of doubt inside her head.
Mhm.
And Rapunzel's like, bro, no, I ain't about
Yeah.
it anymore.
Also, like in the original song, she calls Rapunzel chubby. And it's like, that
Yeah.
child is the farthest. She's probably malnourished. Like, she's so
Yeah.
far from being chubby. So, like, you know that she's just her whole life, Rapunzel has just been hearing these terrible things. And here's
Mhm.
this person, this like guy who's actually like saying nice things to her and wants to talk to her and cares about her as a person. Like, it's probably so confusing for Rapunzel because she's like, this is how people talk to each other? Like,
Yeah.
actually?
Yeah. Yeah, because you get the nagging and the disapproval from Mother Gothel, and then you
Mhm.
get her stories of how terrible everybody is outside, and then
Mhm.
she just sees evidence of the contrary, and then
Mhm.
she's just like, is this like how everybody does this? Like, am I the
Yeah.
only one that's in an abusive relationship? Yes, you are.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, you are.
I'm glad you know that. Yeah, I'm glad you're realizing
Thank
that.
God you
Yeah,
don't have like Stockholm syndrome because
exactly. Well, she does, I think,
ooh,
a little bit, but
a little
like,
bit, but like it's not enough
It's
to
just a
keep her
little.
from going on the adventure.
a
If she
smidge.
really had Stockholm syndrome,
Yeah,
she would have been like, I
she wouldn't have
cannot
gone.
leave.
Hmm.
So there was always something in her that's like, you know what, maybe I can go
Maybe there's
outside.
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
She got so lucky that Flynn was a decent person. Like, yeah, he's a thief,
Oh my
but
gosh,
she
yeah.
got so lucky because, she could have easily fallen into another abusive relationship only on the outside, and she wouldn't have known.
Yeah,
Like,
she really wouldn't have.
this isn't
Yeah.
how people are treated.
Hmm.
So she
Like
really got lucky.
if the ruffians and thugs and like Flynn Rider was like Mother Gothel said,
Hmm.
I think she would have been like a little bit like, oh yeah, that's what my mom said. But I think she would have gone with it anyway because that would have been like, oh yeah, my mom said that. So of course this is how it's going to be. So I can't like change it.
Hmm.
Like how crazy.
Yeah.
How crazy.
Eugene hears Rapunzel hears Eugene coming back and she hides the satchel, unsure what to do. And in true fashion, he's like, so you think I'm gonna get like super strength in my hand now? Like he's just like he's trying to be the comedic relief because he's like he's so uncomfortable with sharing something vulnerable. He's like,
Yeah.
so like superhuman strength, like all that, he's trying to
Right.
be like, remember that thing I shared with you? Forget it. Like
Yeah.
never shared it.
Shove that away from your head
Right.
so far.
So um she hides a satchel, unsure of what to do because now she has that doubt because she was like, I thought he was a good person, but what if Gothel is right?
Mhm.
So the next morning, Eugene is awoken by a soaked and angry Maximus, who starts to drag him across the forest floor. Rapunzel comes to his rescue and convinces Max to let Eugene be free until they see the lanterns that night, and somehow Maximus agrees. She's like,
That is so like crazed Maximus, like the height of crazed Maximus, just dragging a human being by his foot.
he's just done at this point. He's just like,
He's all
come with
like,
me.
bro,
Yeah.
I am dragging you to this castle any way I can right now. So you can keep clawing at the dirt if you want, but I am bringing you in.
It was so because she was like, she's like, it's also my birthday. Just so you know. He's like, oh, fine. It's just, it's so good.
It's like,
And she's,
damn, I gotta be the good guy.
yeah,
It's her birthday.
man, I can't be a dick. Yeah, it's so good.
Right. Like, this is her one birthday wish. Gosh dang it.
It's just so good that part because like she's like, she's baby talking Maximus and he's like eating it up. And
Yeah.
Eugene's like, what the heck? I thought you were on my side.
Yeah.
Like, he's
And
a
also
bad horse.
Yeah. And then the fact that Pascal is really the one that's like controlling them, he's just like, I am watching you two, okay? Like, I know you were going to like be quiet because
Don't
she
make
said
me
it's
come
her
back
birthday.
there. Yeah.
But I will be the one that's killing you if you like step out of line. This
Yeah, when
frog
they're like-
is killing you. I don't care if you're a horse. I'll figure it out.
I'll go jump down your throat and choke you. Like, I
Right.
will do it. Yeah.
Right. And then it's like some Greek story, I'll like burst out of your stomach, bro. Like
Some
I
alien.
am
Yeah.
some alien stuff. I am just popping out of you, bro. Try
And
me.
somebody's like, it's like those kids in the back seat who are like shoving and arguing and stuff. And, Pascal's the mom who's like, don't make me come back there.
Yeah.
Don't make me pull this
Yeah.
car around. Like,
The one that just like moves the rear view mirror down and just like looks at them and like
looks in it.
Want to do that again?
Yeah.
All right.
You think I don't see what you're doing? Yeah.
Right. Craziest character in Tangled, Pascal.
Pascal. He stuck
Confirmed.
a tongue in Eugene's ear twice. Like, he slapped him a few times. Like, Pascal, like, yeah, he did some other stuff at the end of the movie that we'll talk about. But yeah, Pascal is a cold one. Like,
He's a cold-blooded murderer at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
He is not up for your bullshit. He'll
No.
just be like, try it again.
You mess with Rapunzel, I kill you. Like,
Right.
yeah.
Right. You see how small I am? Doesn't matter.
You're
Doesn't
gone. You're dead. You're done for.
Newfound respect.
The four, Rapunzel, Eugene, Pascal, and Maximus, arrive at the kingdom where Rapunzel is amazed at the sights and sounds all around her. But they quickly realize that her hair is going to be a problem as it keeps getting trampled underfoot. Eugene spies a group of girls who are happy to braid Rapunzel's hair for her. When they're finished, it's now in a manageable braid donned with flowers.
Manageable.
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 It's almost as wide as she
Huge.
is.
Yeah, exactly. It's like gigantic. So, and that's so cute because he's like staring at her because she's so pretty, And then Maximus is like,
Yeah, Maximus and Pascal are like,
exactly. It's so funny how like Maximus and Eugene just become like frenemies where they're kind of buddy now that they're not like trying to kill each other. Yeah.
They just became a bunch of bros.
Yeah, exactly.
They
They're
really
three
did.
boys,
They're
yeah.
like, bro, I see you.
I see you. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they continue to take in the village, and while waiting in line for some bread, Rapunzel sees a mural on the wall of a king and queen and a golden-haired baby in their arms. She wanders over and listens in as a young girl tells her brother that the flower she's placing on the ground under the mural is for the lost princess. But Rapunzel is then distracted by a trio of men playing some instruments. Eugene, back from buying cheese and bread, sees Rapunzel has gathered a group of people to dance in the courtyard. She gestures for him to join her, but he declines. Maximus, however, shoves him into the circle anyways, because he's
You
like,
go,
go
bro."
get your girl.
Yeah. No one seemed to wonder who this random girl was. This random blonde girl.
Yeah.
This seemed
Well,
like a
I think they were kind of charmed by her though, because like she shows up and she's like dragging people in and she's like creating this fun
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Yeah. I think it's just, like we know
It's a
when somebody
celebration.
causes a scene and people are like kind of watching because sometimes it could either be like a traffic accident where you just have to watch because it's so bad, or it's just like, you get like infected with, whatever like energy is going on that you're like, I can bop with this. And then you just get
Yeah.
like dragged in.
Exactly. Like some people are just fun and you just want to gravitate towards
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the two keep reaching out for each other, but are pulled away by various dance partners until they finally fall into each other. But the song has ended and it's announced that the lantern ceremony will be starting soon. So the two pull away from each other.
That whole scene is so cute.
The Kingdom Dance scene is my absolute favorite because it's when Eugene and Rapunzel get to hang out with each other without thinking that they're going to die. They're like doing all these things that she's never been able to do. She's in a library surrounded by books. Forget 3 whole books. She gets so many to like look through.
Yeah.
In that scene where he like grabs that banner for her and gives it to her and she's like looking at it and he like touches her waist and leans in. It's just like all these little things that are like, oh, you guys are so cute. And they hide in the like all cove with the cupcakes and they're from the guards. Oh, that whole scene is so well done and it's just so cute.
Because it's like, because they have the dance music going on in the background and it just like creates a whirlwind of a day. And it's really cool because like Flynn is there with her experience and she's experiencing everything for the first time. So
And he
he's
gets
going
to
to be
see it happen.
excited
Yeah.
for her, and they're experiencing something together, and it's like,
Oh, I know.
a connection.
It's so cute. So Eugene gets them a boat and rows them out to the middle of the water so Rapunzel can have the best view possible. While they wait, he notices that she's a bit quiet, so he asks if she's okay. She admits that she's terrified that the sight she's been dreaming of for the past 18 years won't be everything she dreamed it will be. And if it is, she worries about what she'll do then. He tells her that that's the good part about dreams. Once you fulfill your old one, you get to find a new one. It's just so cute.
So cute. Like the whole like the whole scene is cute, but the whole thing with like Rapunzel being like, scared that something doesn't live up to your expectations.
Mhm.
Like that's always so scary. And then
You were
like when it
college,
does,
and I was right.
yeah, well, and then like either it hits your expectations or it doesn't. And then when it hits your expectations, you're just on a high and you're like, now what?
Yeah, nothing is gonna top this. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you like live your life trying to find that next like level.
Mhm.
And sometimes that can be scary, but like Flynn is like, you know what? That's the whole thing, and that's okay. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, I know. It's really cute because like yeah, she's been building this up in her mind for 18 years.
Yeah.
Like this means the most to her. And if it's not
Mhm.
everything that she hopes it's gonna be, she's gonna be so disappointed.
Yeah, because it's basically then Mother Gothel being right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like she'll be like, yeah, maybe I should have never left that tower, and now I'm never going to because it didn't hit my expectations,
Patience. Yeah.
and I will always be disappointed. And it's like,
Exactly. Yeah.
dang.
Oh man. So, meanwhile, in the palace, the king and queen get ready on what would have been their daughter's 18th birthday, and the king understandably is emotional. At this point, they have missed her entire childhood, and they probably
That
realize that
makes
she
me
is
so
never coming
sad.
back. Yeah. She literally,
Like
it's
the
the 18th
way,
birthday.
yeah,
They've missed her
yeah,
entire childhood, and that
yeah,
thought gives me chills. That's so sad. That
yeah. And like, especially back then, that's, I don't know, but like
how
you
long
can
they live
guess what,
usually.
They
Yeah.
yeah,
lived to like
and what time
25.
period, yeah,
Hmm.
and what time period like an adult would be. So
Hmm.
they're probably thinking she's either been an adult for a long time already, probably has a family, will never come back,
Hmm.
or, she's gotten sick somewhere and we'll never see her.
Yeah.
And like when the queen is like fixing up the king's like outfit, and then he's just
She
like
looks up and he's
he
just,
just yeah, he's just crying, and I'm just like, that sucks.
yeah.
As a parent, you'd want to be there for your kid, and then you have your kid for what, a couple days,
Hmm.
and then you just like,
And
at
that's
that
it.
point you're like, I'm never getting her back,
Hmm.
and then you never look forward to her birthdays anymore, because then you're just rubbing salt in the wound.
Wound. Yeah. Like it's almost like this is her last one because it's
Yeah,
like it's been 18 years. She's probably never
yeah.
coming
When
back.
do you stop looking?
Looking. Yeah. When do you
Yeah,
stop hoping that she's gonna
yeah.
show up?
And like you can
Yeah.
totally
Because
see how much that weighs on them.
oh, for sure.
And
Like
it's like,
he looks so. I mean, she looks also very tired and
mhm,
stuff, but he looks gray and tired and just like you
yeah,
can tell that this has broken both their hearts and that
yeah,
they've never really recovered from it.
yeah. And then the music that comes right after that, it's just like soft, like
Hmm.
strings and stuff like that. It just like sets like this like kind of, it's a
It makes
beautiful,
you mourn too for them and with
yeah,
them. Like
yeah.
you
And
understand what they're mourning. Yeah.
it's cool that it's silent, like they don't say anything, because I feel like if they said something, then it would
It
be
would take you
kind of
out of the
taken out of
moment.
the moment. But you feel the grief instead of like verbalize it, and it's
Hmm.
like, oh no.
Hmm. It's a lot
It
of showing, not
breaks.
telling. Yeah,
It
it's so good.
breaks me. It's like that up moment when
Hmm.
like Carl is sitting in the church by himself
Awesome.
at the end of the
Oh,
funeral, and then he just
yeah.
walks home, and I'm just
Oh
like,
no.
Yeah.
no.
So they go to the balcony where their lantern is resting, and together they lift into the sky. The rest of the village follows suit as thousands of lanterns enter the sky.
So beautiful.
Dude, it's so pretty though. Like it kind of looks like hair, as like her hair when it glows, it starts from the top. It starts from the top and then it winds through the village, and it's just
Yeah.
slowly. It's like her hair that glows when she sings. It's just so. There's so many things that like ties it in constantly to the same ideas and themes.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I
I'll
love that the whole like kingdom still does it.
Yeah.
you know, like they still look forward to it and they still, you know, think about
Celebrate it.
her.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I think when she like realizes that later, like probably after the movie, when like, you know, she connects
Yeah.
everything, like how emotional would that make you? Like they
Yeah, like
barely knew you as a child, but every year they're like, you know what, good
they still
wishes for
hope
her.
that she's out there somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah,
That she
like
might
that.
see those lanterns
Yeah,
and
that made me cry, bro.
oh gosh, it's so good. So out on the water, Rapunzel and Flynn are entertaining themselves as they place flowers from her braid into the water when she sees the first lantern in the water's reflection. Icy delight starts to play as she rushes to a better vantage point, nearly knocking Eugene out of the boat. After a few moments of staring at the gorgeous lanterns filling the sky around them, she turns to see Eugene with 2 lanterns of their own, already lit and ready to go.
Where was he hiding them?
Listen, movie magic, because
Movie
like she had,
magic.
yeah,
I'm sure they were probably not that hard to hide because I'm sure they're like one of those
they were probably
collapsible.
yeah collapsible, and then he just
And
like
I know
popped it
he didn't have
open
his
and
satchel, but I'm sure he had like a pocket somewhere. He was from like
he had
lanterns.
matches and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
She settles in across from him and tells him that she has something for him too. She pulls out the satchel, which I don't know where she was hiding that, but
Yeah. Like
yeah, because
I
she
don't
didn't
care where
know
he
he was at
kept
the
I don't
boat.
care where he kept the
Lanterns.
lanterns.
Yeah.
Like where's she
She
gonna
had to
slip
hide the
that?
satchel unless she had to like up under her dress. I have no idea. Yeah.
Oh.
In her hair, I don't know.
She tells the little girls, "Hey, I have a satchel. Can you like braid that
Braid
in
it
Braid it
in.
somewhere?"
into my hair. Yeah.
They're like, "Wouldn't that be heavy?" It's like, "Girl, I've been carrying around 40 something pounds on my
Yeah.
head."
Like, girl, this neck does not know heavy.
Yeah.
Let's just put it
Right.
in there.
Right.
She pulls out the satchel, admitting that she would have given it to him before, but that she was just scared and no longer has that fear. He sets it to the side, showing her that it's no longer important to him as he hands her a lantern. And together they lift them into the air. So during this scene, there is a lantern that starts to like go down to the water and it looks like it's going to fall in, and she like lifts it back into the sky. That lantern was her parents' lantern because it's the only lantern in that entire sequence that has the symbol of the sun on it. Isn't that, oh, dude, it's so good.
That can't be real.
No, it is. It's confirmed. Yeah, that like that is her parents' lantern. Like they reached her even from across the palace. They had that
And then,
small connection.
and then she's going to lift their hopes because
Oh,
she's coming back.
oh no! Oh no!
Okay.
So
Okay.
Eugene leans in to kiss Rapunzel when he sees the Stabbington brothers in the distance on the opposite shore. He rows them over and tells her that he has something he needs to take care of as he grabs a satchel and walks off. When he finds the brothers, he tells them that they can have the crown, but they inform him that what they want is Rapunzel for her magical hair. Rapunzel, back at the boat, sees a shadow approaching, and she, believing it to be Eugene, voices that she was worried he had taken the crown and left her. But then the shadow morphs into 2 figures, revealing the Stabbington brothers.
I don't
They tell her that's
understand.
huh. Sorry.
Why did he go to give them the crown?
Because he just wanted to get off his ass. Like
Yeah.
here, take the crown. I'm sorry, my bad. Take it. Go away. Leave me alone. Like I'm sorry that
Should have kept it.
Well, they
They
would have
coulda-
continued to follow him though, I
They
feel.
could have used it.
for
They
it.
could have sold it, used it to live on the island that he wants to live in. They could have lived there together. It would have been cute.
Yeah, because I
Never.
mean, at that point, he doesn't know that
She's the princess. Yeah.
Also, why couldn't he just like finish their cute little moment and then been like, you know what? 1 second, honey, I gotta go
Right.
Oh,
deal with
I
I
some
know we're
feel-
having a moment, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
leave and
Well, I
ruin
feel
it.
like he wants to just get it over with. I feel like he figures out
Mhm.
that Rapunzel is what he wants. He is going to get this thing off his back and
Mhm.
just get rid of it so he can just finally live this life that he's finally going to be happy with Rapunzel.
Yeah.
No,
So I feel
no,
like
nothing
he
like
can't-
looms.
Yeah. So like
should have kept it.
We clearly know where you stand.
and yeah.
Now he's gonna be killed. Like it's all his own fault. Never do the right thing, kids. Stay out of school. Don't eat your vegetables. Keep the crown.
Keep the
The crown. Keep your metaphorical crown, whatever it may be.
Yeah. You find $100 on the street, that's your crown. Take it.
Oh my gosh.
So they tell her that that's exactly what he did, and they show her a boat sailing away, Eugene at the wheel. They explain that they made a trade. He took the crown so that they could have her magic hair. She starts to run, but gets her hair stuck in a log. In her panic, stuck on a log. In her panic, she struggles to free herself, but then she hears Gothel's voice calling out to her. She gets unstuck and walks back to see the unconscious brothers and Gothel wheedling a big stick. Gothel explains that she's been following her, and that's how she knew Rapunzel had been attacked. She urges her to come with her before the brothers wake up. Rapunzel hesitates, looking back out at Eugene sailing away. Gothel offers her comfort as Rapunzel admits that Gothel was right, and the two head back to the tower.
Aww.
So Eugene hits the dock and is seen tied to the mast and unconscious with the crown in his hand. He comes to, calling for Rapunzel, just as the guards rush to arrest him. Maximus, at a different dock, sees this go down, and he hears Eugene call out for Rapunzel. A few hours later, it's morning, and Eugene is pacing his cell. The captain of the guard comes to get him as he's to be hanged. So, the Stabbington brothers are ultimately getting rid of him. Like, he's going to die. The kingdom is going to take care of that problem for them, which is perfect.
Because I'm sure they would have just killed him themselves, but they're like, you know what, might as well.
But then the kingdom wouldn't know, so I feel like the kingdom would still keep looking for him. But now, if they know that they've killed him, whatever. So at the tower, Gothel removes the braid and the flowers from Rapunzel's head and leaves her for a bit to make dinner. When she's alone, Rapunzel examines a wadded up kingdom banner that Eugene had given her before noticing a similar pattern that she had painted on the ceiling. She spies one more on her wall, and soon the entire room is covered in hidden suns. She realizes that she's been painting them subconsciously because of a memory she has of seeing the sun on a mobile as a baby. She puts the pieces together and realizes that she is most likely the lost princess. That scene is so good. Just like the music swelling, and she the room spins, and she sees the sun in her eye, and it's just it is so good.
Yeah, because it also plays to the fact that her whole life, was from the sun, and had to see the sun in her eye. It's basically that is part of you,
Exactly.
And then you never realize how many paintings are in that room until you put all the suns in the empty spaces, and we're like, what the heck?
That's all she had to do.
Yeah. That's so cool.
At that very same moment, however, Eugene is being walked to the gallows when he sees the brothers in a cell. He fights off the guards and grabs one of the brothers, demanding how they knew about Rapunzel. The brothers tell him that they got the information from an old lady, and Eugene realizes that they're talking about Gothel. But he's grabbed by more guards and taken away. In the tower, Gothel hears Rapunzel knocking into things in her room and calls up to her. Rapunzel appears, telling Gothel that she knows she's the lost princess. And Gothel tries to deny it, but Rapunzel fights back, angry that she has been hidden away for 18 years when the person that she should have been hidden from was the woman who raised her. I would be livid too. And Gothel tells her that there's nowhere for Rapunzel to go, even if she wanted to leave, because Eugene is going to be hanged for his crimes and won't be there for her. So it's kind of like this other way that she's trying to hurt Rapunzel. Okay, fine. You want to leave? There's no one out there who loves you anymore. The guy who loved you is going to die. So I'm the only one that loves you. You might as well stay with me.
The only one who can help you is gone. Yeah. And she kind of makes it seem like the relationship between Rapunzel and Eugene was all wasn't equal. She was just using him as somebody stable in her life, and it's now that stability is gone, and she's like, well, great, now my stability is gone, and now the only one there is Mother Gothel. I'm like, bruh. Exactly. The manipulation.
Oh, dude, so much of it. So this information knocks the wind out of Rapunzel, but when Gothel tries to comfort her, she tells Gothel that she will never get to use her hair again as she heads for the tower's window. And Gothel, the last scene you see before we cut to a different scene, is Gothel walking towards her and goes, you want me to be the bad guy? Fine. Now I'm the bad guy. And she just, oh man, it's just Gothel is no
Alexa,
longer.
Play Billie Eilish.
Oh, well, Gothel's just
Basically.
no longer playing at this point. Gothel's like, fine,
Yeah.
you want me to treat you like a captive? Then I'm going to treat you like a captive because you're not leaving.
I wonder how long, like, or how many times she wanted to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Just
been
really
like, you know
break
what? I
Rapunzel.
am
Yeah.
done.
Right. I'm so tired of pretending to like you. Like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can now
Yeah.
just barely feed you, barely give you water,
Right.
tie you up somewhere, and then not have to worry about
Like,
you.
I
Yeah, use
wonder,
you only
like,
for your hair. That's it. Yeah.
if Rapunzel ever had like a rebellious side, because
I don't think
even
so.
before she met Flynn, she like kind of insisted on seeing the stars, but eventually relented. I wonder if when like she was little, she would do that. And Mother Gothel is just like, if I could just hit this child
Mm-hmm.
and then hide her away so that she knows I'm serious,
Yeah.
like all of her problems would have been solved. But like, I wonder how many times she would have been like she would have said something to Rapunzel and then went her to her own room and just like, I was this close. This
She had to go
close.
close the door and be like,
Right.
man.
She's like,
Right.
she longingly looks at the belt hanging up in the closet. She's like, one day.
Yeah, she looks at the shackles that
One-
she's inevitably keeping, and she's just like,
Yeah.
one day, I'm
One
gonna just
day.
slap them
Pushes
on
me
her wrists.
too far. Yep.
Right, right, and then she's down in the basement
Yeah.
forever.
Hanging from the rafters because there's no
Right.
basement. It's a tower. Yeah.
Right. So she's like, I wonder what took so damn long. Should have snapped earlier.
So in the jail, Eugene is putting up a fight when he sees a single ceramic unicorn in a nook. Suddenly, the jail doors close all around them, and the captain of the guard pounds on the door, demanding to know what is going on.
What's
window
the
slot-
password?
The window slot is open to reveal Short Thug from the Snuggly Duckling. As the captain argues with Short Thug,
Every time. Every time.
what's the password? Open this door. Not even close.
Close. Also, I kind of want like now a BuzzFeed like quiz to find out which thug you are.
I'm sure they have them. Oh my gosh.
Are you Short Thug? Find
So
out today.
I got
All
some
of these guards
dreams.
need to be fired.
Yeah.
All of
Yeah.
these guards, the entire guard needs to be fired, and they just need to hire new people.
And there's
How
so
did
many of them.
How did they get in the castle?
Because their thugs are good at it, I guess. I don't know.
I mean,
Well,
Jordan, they
Maximus
stole.
brought them.
Yeah, well, Flynn.
Okay, but like
Flynn could steal a crown after he alerted somebody that he was there. Like,
yeah, they all need to be fired.
yeah. No wonder
So-
Maximus becomes head of the guard later. Like, come
Yeah.
on. If they can look up to a horse and not question it, no.
So as the captain argues with the thug, the two other guards are grabbed by other thugs. That was a really hard sentence to write, by the way. That was hard to describe.
This sentence is grammatically
Right.
correct.
But if I said it, I sound kind of crazy.
Crazy,
That's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Once the captain notices what's happened, though, it's too late as a tail of the thug knocks him out with a frying pan. And, Eugene goes, frying pans. Who knew, right?
Right?
The thugs help Eugene escape, and when he finds Maximus, he discovers that he's the one that brought them. He starts to have a heart-to-heart with the horse, but realizes it probably isn't the best time, and he goes, no, yeah, you're right, we should go. And they race off towards the tower.
What did Maximus do at the Snuggly Duckling that conveyed that he needed their help with Flynn?
Maybe he brought
What did he
the
do?
wanted poster. It was like now.
Does a little
come on.
shimmy, points
Yeah.
towards the castle, and was like, "Let's go."
He
Let's
whips his
go.
hair around to show that Rapunzel's in danger too. He tried to do insane charades, and they're like,
Like, I just want to know
Okay.
what's going on.
They're like just take us where we need to go.
Right.
Like,
that's probably what happened.
okay.
Ended up
Right.
happening.
He
He
probably
probably glared at them and was like, go.
Yeah, right. He corralled them into a corner and was like,
Go.
"Stare deep into my eyes. I will tell you exactly what you need to do."
Yeah.
And they believe him.
And they're like, all right, let's go.
How much
Okay.
power does this horse have? I don't know.
Too much, honest. But when they get there, Eugene calls up to Rapunzel to let down her hair. When there's no answer, he starts to scale the tower, but then her hair cascades down out of the window and he starts to climb it. When he gets into the tower, though, he sees a gagged and chained Rapunzel before being stabbed by Gothel, which is funny that there's two characters literally named the Stabbington brothers, and the person who ends up stabbing Flynn or Eugene is Gothel.
Yeah. Neither of the Stabbington brothers have stabbed anybody in this
have stabbed
movie.
anyone in this entire movie. One of them gets a knife and like throws it into the dirt at one point, but like doesn't stab anyone with it. He just
I know.
throws it on the ground. So
The real Stabbington.
Their stabbing days are over.
Yeah.
It's an old high school nickname that just stuck.
Yeah, and they've been trying to change it for years. But
Like,
somebody
we're the
comes
Robbing
along.
brothers now.
Yeah,
We're the
somebody comes
Robbing
along. They're like,
brothers.
"Oh my gosh, I remember going to school with you, Stabbington brothers, right?" And they're like, "God, this is not what
shit.
we want to go by."
So Gothel tells Rapunzel that their secret will die with Eugene and that they're going somewhere where Rapunzel will never be found, but she struggles, saying that she will never stop fighting and trying to escape unless Gothel lets her heal Eugene. Gothel relents, chaining Eugene to the wall to prevent him from following them. Rapunzel assesses the damage and sees blood seeping through his clothes. Eugene tries to convince her not to heal him because she will give up her freedom in doing so, but she assures him that it's okay. Eugene asks her to wait, and it seems like he reaches up to kiss her, but instead cuts her hair in one swoop with a shard of glass before collapsing.
He's an asshole for cutting her hair at that length.
Listen,
Yeah.
he's dying. He's just trying to get it off. I don't think he's paying any attention at all.
Also, is this
And
the
did-
first Disney movie that like shows an
Yes,
injury like
so
that?
I'm going to talk about
Okay,
that later,
okay.
but I'll talk about it now. But Tangled is the first animated princess fairy tale movie to be PG-13. No, PG. Sorry, PG.
I was about to
No,
say.
no, it's not PG-13. Sorry. Yeah.
I was about
Is
to say, what
it?
version did I watch?
It's the first Disney princess movie to be rated PG, and Frozen and Moana have followed suit with being PG because they realize that they can make it a little bit more dark, I
Yeah.
guess.
How was Moana PG? I kind of understand Frozen.
I
How is
understand
Moana
Frozen.
PG?
I don't know, but it does have a PG rating.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
don't understand how the ratings work anyway. So
yeah.
I don't either.
So, but if you notice that, yes, he has blood on his clothes, like seeping through his clothes and stuff. But when she takes the knife out of his body, it's not covered in blood because that was
Yeah.
a little bit too far for animators.
yeah, and they didn't show the action of her actually piercing his
Mhm.
skin. They just
You
showed
hear
the
it.
action of this.
Yeah.
You know?
And
You
he
can
like
tell
he
that
reacts
Yeah.
to it. Yeah.
So like it's implied. And
Yeah, and her holding up the
everything
dagger
is heavily implied.
Implied,
but you
yeah.
never actually see it.
until he's bleeding.
Yeah.
But also, dude, poor Rapunzel. Like, this is the second time that a boy she really has liked has reached up to kiss her and just hasn't done it yet. Like,
Yeah.
this poor girl is like, oh, he's gonna do it now, even though it's a sad moment. Like, finally, and
Right.
he's just like,
Right.
Yeah.
Let's over
Right,
her
she's
And
like-
now she's stuck with a hairstyle that she can't style.
Yeah.
She looks like a page boy.
She's
Like, it's
like,
bad.
You know what? I will die happy or whatever. I will go happily into this cave wherever she brings me. If you just kiss me. And he's like, JK, bro.
okay,
I'm
haircut.
cutting your hair.
Yeah.
Surprise haircut.
kiss for
Let's
you.
go.
So Rapunzel watches as her hair loses its magic and turns brown, while Gothel screams in horror. With the magic gone, Gothel starts to age and decay rapidly. She panics and flails about the room, only to be tripped by Pascal. So we're talking about earlier, cold-blooded killer Pascal,
Cold-blooded
who rips
murders
her with
yes.
the hair, and she falls out of the window. By the time her body hits the ground, all that's left of her is dust and her cloak.
How old is
Quick question.
Mhm.
So when the hair is cut, it like reverses the magic,
she?
right?
Yeah.
Well, it just
Whatever.
makes her lose magic, yeah.
Yeah.
No longer has it.
Does it only apply to aging that it reverses and not like cuts and scars? Because
Are you
didn't she,
asking
like,
because
heal-
Flynn?
Yeah, did she heal Flynn's hand and stuff? Like,
Well, it's
Yeah.
completely heals it. So like as if it was never there, I guess.
But I think at that point, I don't know how old Mother Gothel is, but at that point, it's basically it's not just keeping her youthful; it's keeping basically
her alive.
soul alive.
Mhm.
her soul.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because by the time she doesn't even hit the floor, she
She's dust way
disintegrates.
before
Yeah,
she
and
hits.
I don't know
yeah.
how long it takes for our body to disintegrate. I don't know exactly how old she is, but like that was like she ages quickly.
Yeah.
So you
She's
can just
she's
imagine-
aging so badly in the tower. Before she even leaves the tower, she is
Mhm.
brittle and bones and
Yeah.
you know.
She's so thin. She's basically
yeah.
just bone with skin on it. So
Oh, dude,
I
it
think
makes my hands hurt when I see it. Like she holds her
Yeah.
hand and her hand withers. every time I see it, my like wrist hurts. Like it feels like I don't know. It's so good at the way that they animated it. Where I'm like,
Future
ow.
arthritis is
Yeah.
showing.
Well, no, it's just like, oh man, like it just you feel her pain. You feel how bad she's aging. You just
Mm-hmm.
see it. It's
Mm-hmm.
oh God, it's so
Yeah.
scary but good. And yeah.
Yeah. Also, like the scene directly after this, like the moment after Mother Gothel like disintegrates.
Mhm.
I remember watching Tangled for the first time and like just seeing the carnage in the tower, and
Yeah.
then like close to death Flynn and Rapunzel just sitting there like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Like I was like, is this how the movie ends? This is kind of dark for a Disney movie,
Well,
you
because
know?
remember at the beginning how he's like, this is the story of how I died. I'm like, he
Yeah.
was not kidding.
Yeah, he
Does he
really
actually
wasn't.
die? Like, yeah.
Right, because he's so close to it, and you just see the carnage and like how I love how they use the colors in this scene
It's
because it's
super
just
dark.
it's cool toned
Yeah.
instead of warm, and like you can just tell like this is serious, and you
It was
never,
always a warm tower, and now it's
yeah,
just
and
devoid
you
of life.
never we haven't seen this kind of carnage in a
Disney
Disney movie
movie.
before.
Yeah.
Maybe in like Tarzan
Tarzan.
with like the
Yeah, but this is computer animated. It just
yeah.
looks
Yeah,
different.
and it wasn't like there was a fight scene in Tarzan. We just
Yeah.
like assumed his parents died like eventually, but we never see it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you were talking about? I was talking about
No,
the ending when Clayton died, and you
no.
literally see
Oh,
the
him.
shadow of his
Yeah,
Of
body
it
yeah.
hanging.
But
hanging.
like,
Yeah.
there's no carnage though. We don't see like a battle like
You don't see a
field.
body. You
Yeah,
like see the shadow of the body. You don't see
yeah.
the
So
body.
you see Rapunzel's dead hair. You see the glass from the broken not window, mirror.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you see Pascal somewhere after being kicked. You see Flynn
Yeah.
dying, and Rapunzel sitting there like, "What do I do next?" Like that was
Yeah.
so like, is this how they're gonna end it?
And
Because this
this,
is kind
yeah,
of
how is
dark.
this gonna get better? Yeah.
Yeah, because she has no more
But
powers, and you're like, oh,
exactly. Well, it's also really interesting though, because when Gothel falls out of the window, Rapunzel reaches out for her.
oh yeah, she does. She
She
goes
is
to stop her.
still, yeah, she still is reaching out towards Gothel. She loves Gothel still. After
Yeah.
everything Gothel just put her through, she's
Hmm.
still reaching out for Gothel, wishing she could save her, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
which is
Because I think
so
it's
sad.
yeah, it speaks to like how good of a person she is, but also kind of like the Stockholm syndrome. But
Yeah.
also like even though this woman did her bad, I'm sure she would have been like, I'm going to catch you and then you're probably going to go to jail and I will never see you again, but you are not going to die, you know?
Yeah.
That will not be on my conscience. And then she reaches for her and you can see in her eyes how terrified she is. And then like she just grabs at nothing because she's dust. And you're like,
Yeah.
"But
Oh, I know it's but also this is the person that raised her. This is the person that she loved most in the world because it's the only person she knew. But
yeah.
that's sad too. Like she's losing a parental figure, even though Gothel was terrible. But yeah,
Yeah.
so it's sad. So Rapunzel cradles Eugene's head as she tries to save his life, but her hair no longer glows and the magic is gone. He tells her that she was his new dream, and she admits that he was hers. Now at peace, he dies in her arms. Heartbroken, she starts to sing the healing incantation as a tear falls from her eye to his cheek. The tear is absorbed into his skin. Kelly's losing her mind, and that's okay because this part always gets me. I've seen this movie like so many times, and it's so
Bro,
good
because
because it's just like
like the urgency with which she sings the song, and he's like, no, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
yeah,
I'm
he's
okay.
like he's okay with it because he's like
I'm like, bruh, no,
he's
no,
like he
no,
did this to
no.
save her. Like this was the whole point.
Yeah,
This is not to save
yeah,
him. Like
yeah.
it was to
And she's
save
like, no, no,
her.
no. Like, you can't leave me now. You're
You
the
can't
only
leave
like
me.
safe
Like
You
person
can't
in my
leave me
I'm
life.
now.
alone now. Like you
Right,
can't
right.
like
And her
you're
like
my person.
her incessant singing while
Yeah, she's like
keeping his hand on her
holding.
hair. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's like, this is not going down without me putting up a fight. And he's like, no, 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 no.
exactly. And
Don't
he's
do
like
that.
interrupting her, and she's like, "What?" Like, cause she's like trying to save him with the little bit of magic she hopes is still there, and he's like, "It's okay." And like, so they share this moment where it's just like he's comforting her. She's not
Yeah.
comforting him. He's
Yeah.
comforting her. He's like, you know what? It's gonna be okay. You're free. Like, it's okay. So a tear falls from her eye to his cheek. The tears absorb to his skin, and a moment later, through his wound, magic blooms, filling the tower. when the light and magic subside, Rapunzel looks at Eugene hopefully and sees that he's waking up. When he comes to, he tells
I
her
wish you could all see what Kelley is doing.
she is rejoicing, which is the correct response. So when he comes to, he tells her that he has a thing for brunettes, and they embrace before she kisses him. She's like, you know what? I waited for you to kiss me twice. No.
I finally
I'm
get my
kissing
kiss.
you.
Right. She's like, I let you die, okay? I am getting my kiss before you die again somehow, okay? That was the last bit of magic I've got. I am getting this kiss.
Oh gosh, it's so cute. So, and it's so cute, like they're just holding each other because it's just like, oh man. So Rapunzel
I am touch
goes,
starved.
bro.
Wow. Don't come for me like that.
The volume in here is too loud.
It's too loud. There's too many mirrors in this room. I can't.
It's reflecting too many things at me, and I am blind. Okay, I don't want to see it.
The fact that an animated movie is breaking me so hard over the romantic vlog.
Right, I'm just like sitting here, like, damn, maybe I should give myself a hug or something. What the hell?
Like just
maybe
pat
just
yourself on the head.
A nice little pat on the head.
Yeah.
I'm getting both of you those boyfriend pillows for your birthdays.
From Glee, the one that has like the arm over the shoulder.
The arm, yeah.
Oh my god, I'll take a body pillow. That's fine.
Mine's coming out. My birthday's this week.
If I don't see a boyfriend pillow,
I'll
take you to Target. We'll go get you a long pillow you can hug.
I already have like 4 pillows on my bed. And one's a body pillow. Like
same.
Good to go.
I have 3 on one side and oh no, yeah, I have 3 on each side, and they kind of like cocoon me.
You're in the middle. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that just reveals way too much about me. Let's keep talking.
Y'all have a lot of problems. Okay.
Thank God Sabrina's here, because like if I said this to Jordan, I just get like a blank look from him.
Look,
like, oh,
a blank look.
As he like slowly ends the recording, is like, okay.
I literally have 2 pillows on my bed.
So let's move on. Rapunzel goes to the palace to meet her real parents for the first time. They accept her immediately, as well as Eugene, and the two have a real family for the first time in their lives.
That is so sweet. So they open the door, and like the moment the mom just like goes up to her and like touches her face, I was like, and then she knows. She knows.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
Oh gosh, you want me to break your heart even more?
Oh,
that spot where they meet, that's where they release the lanterns every year.
No. That's full circle. She lifted up their lantern, and now she goes.
I can't wait to edit this. I can't wait.
Oh gosh.
I'm not okay, but I'm okay.
So Eugene explains via narration that the thugs have all been able to fulfill their dreams. Maximus thrives as he eradicates any crime from the kingdom. Rapunzel becomes the princess.
The humans couldn't do their jobs.
Also, how terrifying is it to come up against a horse with a sword in its mouth?
Yeah.
You know, you're just like, what the hell?
And then you get behind it and it kicks you. Like,
yeah.
yay!
Either way, it's bad. You either get stabbed by, a horse, which is, a sentence I never thought I'd say,
or you get your skull kicked in. Like, yay!
It's death either way.
Death, yeah, exactly. Rapunzel becomes the princess she was meant to be. Pascal never changes, and the two of them have gotten married, and they live happily ever after. After,
yay!
She keeps asking to get married when actually he asked her, which of course.
Also, pure good ending with
short thug and his Cupid,
and he's just like,
and he kisses at the screen. You're just like, oh,
yeah,
I feel
fill up a little bit, but like,
yeah,
I feel really greasy, and I'm like.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we have the end credit song, Something That I Want.
I love that song.
I swear it's like in a million Disney movies.
Well, it sounds very bouncy. It sounds like
Miss Grace Potter never has to work another day.
No, she doesn't. That's a great song. I love that song.
It's super bouncy, it's
It's
so
super
cute.
fun.
So are you ready for some movie facts?
Yes.
Always.
So speaking of end credits, there is a list along with the production babies called the Chameleon Kids, who are the children of the real life chameleon who is the model for Pascal. The names are Shakti, Bitey, Tongbert, Mr. Sticky, Baby, and Nathan Jr. Mr. Sticky.
Sounds kind of
Bitey would have been mine.
Oh
it's
no!
Like that kiss from Short Thug at the end. I'm just like,
Mr. Sticky. Why
why
Mr. in front of?
Right? Yeah. Why? And then like Sticky Jr. and
I really like Nathan Jr. because that means either the chameleon's name was Nathan or someone was named Nathan. Oh, the director's name was Nathan. Oh.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
That's cute.
That's cute.
Let's get a shout out.
Yeah.
My sushi is almost here.
Oh, okay. We'll wrap this
I
up.
was literally ordering sushi while we were talking.
Okay, wait. I need to go get my charger. I'm at 5%.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Elevator music.
It was the most expensive animated Disney film at $260 million. And at that time, the most expensive animated film of all time. I don't think it has that same of all time anymore, but at the time of the release, it was the most expensive animated film of all time.
260.
Didn't we last week do a most expensive
no. Okay,
animated movie of all time?
So okay, you know how beautiful Tangled looks with 260 million, right? B movie.
Oh no.
Was made with 150 million.
Wow.
And it looks terrible.
Awful.
But Tangled is beautiful. I think I remember looking at Tangled first and the grass and stuff and the hair animations.
Mm-hmm. And it's their first. Yeah, it's Disney's first full-length computer animated fairy tale adventure. And it was also their 50th animated feature.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
because they had Princess and the Frog, which was traditional animation, and then this was the first foray into computer animation.
The Princess and the Frog. How you feel about this movie is how I feel about the Princess and the Frog. Even though she's barely human in that movie, which is a problem, it is a good movie, and the songs slap.
So the animators had a meeting dedicated to discussing what made a man attractive. They had all the female animators come in, and they had what is known as a hot guy meeting, where they literally had the girls just talk about what they found attractive about men. So some of the celebs that they mentioned were Johnny Depp, Hugh Jackman, Brad Pitt, David Beckham, and Gene Kelly.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's a good looking guy.
Who is Gene Kelly?
Willy Wonka, right?
No, that's
really?
That's not him.
That's
somebody else. Gene Kelly.
Thank God.
Gene Kelly is
Gene Wilder. That's Willy Wonka.
Gene Kelly is from Singing in the Rain.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
That's Gene Kelly.
Seen it.
Mm-hmm. You've never seen Singing in the Rain?
I have not seen a lot of old movies. I watched,
but that's iconic.
Miracle.
Speaking of
iconic, no, but
I watched Miracle on 34th Street.
I don't know
for
if
the
you
first
watched
time with Sabrina 2 years ago.
I don't know if you listen to one of our Christmas episodes, but I bring up because we did You've Got Mail. And the original was a black and white movie, and the main character was the guy from It's a Wonderful Life. And I brought up It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, Jimmy Stewart.
And Jordan's like, yeah. And Jordan's like, what? I'm like, excuse me? You have not seen It's a Wonderful Life?
No.
How did you get through your childhood?
Right.
I'm black. No, I'm not watching those movies. I mean, I will watch it. I'll watch it. Okay, I will watch it this year.
It's such a cute movie.
Those were not the Christmas movies I watched growing up. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I grew up on the clay animation ones. I don't remember the specific
Those are
word.
awful.
Oh, the
I grew up on
Rudolphs
those.
and
Yeah, I grew up on
Those are-
those. I grew up on
those
It's
are
a Wonderful
all
Life,
awful.
Miracle on 34th Street, and I'm just like, what the?
yeah.
Hmm. And I saw, what's the name of that movie? White Christmas. I don't like it.
Oh,
I don't.
Yeah. See, if we were
So sorry.
Christmas in
married
Connecticut.
legally, if we were married legally, I would irreconcilable differences. I love
It's
that
fine.
movie.
It's fine. We've already finished college. It's fine.
Yeah.
You got her through. Yeah. Okay. So Kristen Bell and Idina Menzel auditioned for the role of Rapunzel, and Natalie Portman was considered for it. And Natalie Portman was even part of
Can
her.
Natalie Portman sing?
I think
They
I don't know,
probably would have gotten somebody else.
somebody else, yeah.
Ew.
But
I hate when I do that.
Natalie Portman was the pencil test for Rapunzel. So they modeled some of Rapunzel's movements off of Natalie Portman.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
So
about that.
the reason that Kristen Bell and Idina Menzel got the roles of Anna and Elsa are because that like
They went to
people-
Tangled.
they're like, oh, we'll keep you in mind for something else. And then
Oh, okay.
the Frozen came up, and then they're like, you know what, we have 2 roles perfect for you. So that's how that happened.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
The thug that was sent to fetch the palace guards at the Snuggly Duckling is modeled after the director, Nathan Greno, and they even share the same tattoos on their forearms, the stars.
Really?
Yeah.
It's self-insert.
Yeah, for sure. There is an 8-year age gap between Eugene and Rapunzel. He's 26, she's 18. So Pascal was originally going to be a squirrel,
Hmm.
and and Pascal was actually named after one of the animators' real life Pascal, who was a chameleon. She had a pet chameleon named Pascal, so that's where the
And they
name
wanted
came
to change
from.
him into a squirrel.
Well, they're like, you have a chameleon. That's kind of cool. So
Oh.
like, yeah.
Mm.
Zachary Levi auditioned for Flynn Rider in a British accent, but John
Oh.
Lasseter was like, no, I don't do accents. Do
Yeah.
your real
I don't
voice.
do
Yeah.
accents.
Thank you, John Lasseter.
Yeah,
That would have made that too weird.
exactly. And the Snuggly Duckling was almost called the Rotten Corpse.
I love it. I love it.
Wow.
The Snuggly Duckling actually has a lore.
No
So
way.
yeah, it has a lore, but since they never mentioned it in the actual like movie, it's just something that like you have to kind of figure out on your own. But
Mhm.
in the lore, it was opened by a sweet grandmother. That's why it's called the Snuggly Duckling. She kind of took in these thugs and stuff. And
Aw.
when a tree started to grow into the pub, they just kind of let it grow, and they let the branches just do what they were going to do. And then when she died, some other people took over. And so that's why it eventually became the Snuggly Duckling. And the interior of the Snuggly Duckling is based off of, I didn't write down the actual name of the pub, but it's a pub in San Francisco. We were there once. Remember the pub that we went to for a spring, or not a spring, but like a
The
school
one that
with
with
the slanted
the
floor, and it was really
yeah.
small. That one. It's like Last Chance or something like that.
Yeah, it
I
was.
thought that was in Oakland.
No,
It's
no,
set
no.
in San Francisco.
It's in San Francisco because we went
Didn't
to.
we go to one in Oakland?
Yeah, we did for another
We
year,
did.
but
Yeah, but
Yeah,
wasn't
our school took us to a lot of bars.
for a private school. Yeah,
Took
we
us
went to a lot of bars.
of bars, yeah.
Went to
Was-
a
We weren't
lot of
allowed to
bars.
drink anything. They always made
Was
it very
the-
clear.
We actually couldn't even go in
Oh
we went
yeah.
to
in.
one of
We
them.
could
Oh,
like
no,
we could
yeah.
peek in. I
One
think.
of them we couldn't even
I
go
think it was
in.
probably like
We went
Yeah.
into the San Francisco one for sure.
Yeah.
because I have pictures in there.
yeah. So that's where that came from. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
that's,
I think the Oakland one was
the Jack London one, right?
yeah, the Jack London one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the San Francisco one. I don't remember the significance, but I remember us going there.
Well, it had the slanted floor, and it's really
Yeah,
crowded. Yeah. But
The whole like backstory for Snuggly Duckling is super sweet.
yeah.
Like we love that found family. Like, oh, grandma opens up a bar and a bunch of thugs come in. She's like, "Cool, all right,
Cool.
I love you guys. You want
No
more
wonder
Too
drinks?"
much,
Yeah, she's
too much tea.
That's probably where they got all
Right.
their hobbies from, because she's like, you want to learn how to knit? Yeah.
Yeah, they probably like watched her do something and they're like, "Are you interested? Do you want to learn with me?" Or like,
Yeah. That's probably where the baking Nutella got his baking from. Killer
But maybe-
toes. Yeah, like killing
Yeah.
the thug's toes. So like that's probably where he got it
But
from.
maybe she should have kicked out Short Thug.
Well, maybe she's not there clearly anymore. She's probably
Yeah.
passed.
Maybe that's her husband.
And that's
Or
gross.
lover.
Remember when she's like, "Oh, aren't you a tall glass of water?" And she was
She fell for that.
like, "Ha, you big lug." And she pulls out a
She's
thug,
like, I love a drunk.
and he was like,
Mm.
"Knife." Yeah.
No, but that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's super cute. I like that.
Tangled just keeps getting better and better the more I learn about it.
I know. See, that's why I'm afraid for us to do Up, because I feel like I'm gonna find a bunch of stuff and it's just gonna make me more sad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find out this is like some real life couple or whatever, and I'm just gonna like cry.
Oh, Kelley.
Oh no, is it true?
It's based on a house. Same thing where the guy didn't want to give up his house that was like gonna be pulled down by a big company. Yeah.
No. I felt so many things during this episode. It's such a roller coaster.
Oh
And
man.
Jordan's just sitting there stoic as ever.
Eating some
I'm
sushi,
eating.
unbothered.
Unbothered.
I don't have emotions like you guys or most people.
Do you guys have any recommendations?
You forgot something.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, listen. Okay. I know what Jordan's gonna say, and it does not matter because this movie is iconic. I'm sorry. It's iconic. No, I will die on this hill. I will die on this hill. Jordan, you're gonna
She's
have
like,
to cut
I
out.
thought we were all in agreement that this was iconic, and we were just gonna like.
Yeah, we're just gonna
Wasn't
talk about
that
Tangled and have a good
unspoken?
time. No.
Right.
If Jordan and I
Yes, it's
decide we
an
want to fight
it-
about this, he's gonna have
It's
so
an
much to cut
iconic
out.
movie. Calm down.
Fight,
Calm
fight.
down. It's iconic. You win.
Brita's like, say it's not iconic. I dare you. I dare you.
Do it. Yeah.
She pulls out like a slideshow. She's like, I've been prepared for this moment.
She was
Okay.
so like, I just like gush about this movie for like what 2 hours now. Like, no, I'll go back and defend it again.
I mean, Brita was the one that made me a whole CD of the music
Oh, no. What are you gonna
because
tell me? Okay. Don't embarrass me.
Because I said I love the music, and I bet you she showed up the next day and was like, I burned the CD for you.
Back when you first seen it.
Yes. That was when my car didn't have like I couldn't put in an aux cord or anything, so I really had to rely on CDs. And Brina would make me CDs, and she made me a Tangled CD, and I think that was like the only thing that played in my car for a good couple
Aw.
weeks.
Yeah.
I know all the songs and stuff like the back of my hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Like on it, like I think a few birthdays you would come over for sleepovers, we'd watch it. Like Tangled was my thing for like
Yeah.
all of high school almost.
Yeah.
Like I
We would
dressed up
quote
as Tangled
things.
one. Yeah.
We would quote things back and forth to each other.
Exactly. Yeah, I was pretty into it. Like, I remember one year for character day, I dressed up as Rapunzel. I had like the braid and everything. Like, it was a lifestyle for me, to be honest. I think it's great. I'm not as intense about it as it was in high school, as you're supposed to. You're supposed to chill out as you get older. But
But if
definitely
you don't
top.
say it's iconic, Brina will fight you.
But
It will
that
come
being
back up full force. She'll be,
she
like,
lives in there
possessed.
somewhere, teenage Brina. She's in there
Teenage
somewhere,
Brina
and
will
she will
possess
come out.
you, sit you
So-
down. Too bad there's not like with the Lord of the Rings, there's not like a commentary or like extended version of Tangled because Brina would make you sit through it.
Director's cut.
Director's cut, yes.
Oh my gosh.
And she would spout like facts at you. Just
Yeah.
Like the
throughout
Snyder
whole-
cut.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
Which, by the way, I watched. They could have cut an hour out of that movie easily.
Really.
There was so many scenes where they were just talking, and like it wasn't moving the plot along at all. And I was like, this movie does not need to be 4 hours long.
yeah, but like, yeah, so whenever I meet someone new, and they're like, what's your favorite movie? And I'm like, Tangled. And then if they tell me that they have not watched Tangled, I'm like, you need to stop whatever you're doing at this exact moment. You need to go watch that movie.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. You have to
Yeah,
go watch that
yeah.
movie.
So I will
Otherwise, we
hound
cannot
you.
be friends. Like, you have to have watched it.
Yeah. we will put this whole thing on pause, okay?
Yeah.
And then you're watching it, and then the minute you're done, you're telling me.
Yeah, you're like when I had a friend who told me that they watched it, and like I was like, tell me everything. We're okay. Sit down. Tell me everything. Just
Right.
your thoughts, your feelings,
Right.
everything. I want to know.
Right. So like, tell me one thing, and then we'll just go from there.
And then yeah,
The floodgates open.
open. Yeah, like it's dangerous, but you know what?
Yeah.
That's okay. There are worse movies to like.
Mhm.
So
This is 100% iconic.
mhm.
If you want to discourse that, any discourse will be sent directly to Brina. She will send you back a slideshow.
I will.
And then if you still don't like it, she'll fight you.
Yeah, it's on
Maximus have a sword in my teeth.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then she's got a mean back kick that will smash your skull in. So
But,
she's very in love with this movie.
yes, it's a good movie to love.
mhm.
And now it's super more emotional for me.
You're welcome.
It's obvious by my crying noises that you've heard since the beginning of this episode.
Yeah.
You're
So-
welcome.
So,
All right.
do you guys have any recommendations for the week?
Jordan, you want to go
I
first?
have some. Sure. My first one, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Haven't seen
Get
it yet.
into it.
Neither.
It's nothing like WandaVision.
I didn't expect it to be.
No.
But like,
It's very.
I expected the
it's-
tone to be totally different.
The tone is very different. They say a lot of curse words in it. I was very
Oh.
shocked. It's really giving me military propaganda, but I look past it. I look past it
yike. Okay.
because honestly, that's all that Marvel really is now. Anyway, it's military propaganda. But yeah,
What
good
Marvel
show.
movies have you been watching?
Right. Are we
All of
watching
them.
two different?
I feel like-
Literally, all of Captain America is pretty
Well,
much about the Air Force.
Anything Captain America. Yeah.
but it's also
It's-
him
yeah.
being like, I'm not your tool to use.
Yeah.
And then, but you notice how like the bad guy is never actually the American government. It's always like a different government with a different name that happens to be operating within the American government. Like it's never like the American military is bad. It's like Hydra is bad and they infiltrated Shield, but not the military because the military is perfect.
I
Oh,
thought
okay.
they did. I thought they did.
No,
Like the whole. I don't remember what movie it was, but when Natasha like has that meeting and she's like disguised as one of the women, and then she's just like airs everybody's.
yeah, that's Shield.
That's Shield. Okay. Because I was
Yeah,
like, I don't
and then-
remember.
Captain Marvel is pretty much propaganda for
The Air
the
Force.
Air Force. Like, yeah. But yeah, great show. Everyone watch it. But like be wary, military propaganda. My second one is HBO Max. I love it.
That was yours last time. No, it wasn't.
Was
It was
it?
Hulu last time.
Hulu. Yeah.
Hulu.
It was Hulu.
It's HBO Max. I love HBO Max. I started watching Static Shock.
Hmm.
And I also started watching What I Like About You. Great show. But thank you for bringing that up, Kelley. They changed the theme song.
Oh yeah.
Don't know why. It's
Yeah,
not
you
the
brought
theme
that
song isn't the theme song is not the song What I Like About You anymore. It's some random song. I don't know the name of it because I
Maybe
skip
copyright,
it every
probably.
Maybe.
I don't care. They need to pay the money for it because I skip it every
It's
time.
not like they're tight for money anyway.
They're not. It's so bad.
They really aren't.
And it's such a good show. Amanda Bynes is at peak comedy in this show. Great show. Also, the Zack Snyder Justice League came out this weekend on there. Watched it. It was too long, but it was much better than the original. Much better.
At least it was better. If it was worse, then you would have lost 4 hours of your life.
I mean, I already kind of did, but yeah. Well, that's it for me.
What about you,
Okay.
Kelley?
So I'm gonna throw some throwbacks out there for throwbacks for me. I'm going to recommend Science and Faith by The Script. I love The Script. It was like my whole like high school kind of like music identity. I loved them. So I'm gonna recommend that album and also one more. It's their self-titled album, The Script. Such good bops on there. So
The
good.
script is always just decent.
Yeah, their music is so good. I haven't listened to any of their new stuff yet, so can't talk about that. But those two albums, so good.
Yeah.
And you?
So, I mean, I only really have one, and it's for like gamers, where like I've been
Yes.
playing a lot. I mean, this game's pretty old. It came out a while ago, but I've been playing a lot of Overwatch.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, so it's kind of gotten me through the winter, to be honest. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I've been playing it since June, and I played it a while ago, but
Mhm.
like just the winter months just really just gone on and grinding, and it's just fun and a good time.
Who's your main?
Diva for
A.
tanks, and then support Mercy.
Oh yeah,
But
good.
you know,
Top,
I mean,
top
I've kind
tier
of been,
choices.
yeah, I've
I'm
kind of been
lost.
like branching out a tiny bit with
Jordan.
my friend's trying to get me to play Reinhardt more, and
Yeah.
I do play a little bit of Orisa if someone takes Diva, and for support, I kind of like Mora and Anna as like my backups. So like
Mhm.
I don't, but like mostly right now I've been playing a lot of Mercy. It's just a lot more fun.
Yeah, it is.
But then Diva, yeah, I love Diva, but she,
Yeah.
I like watching the ticks go like fill up. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so satisfying.
Yeah. It really is though.
Yeah. So that's
Sorry, Jordan.
mine.
They could be speaking a different language, and I would not know. I heard ticks and loading and divas
And Mercy, I don't know
and
what's going
Mercy.
on.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for going over that movie
Oh, yeah.
with us, Kelley.
Thank
You're
you.
not Kelley. You're Sabrina.
Thank
Yeah,
you
it was-
for letting me
Sorry,
gush
force
for
of
like
habit.
2 hours.
Yeah. It was also really weird to like not take like actual notes for this movie because like it should have been my week. And
Oh,
I was
really?
just like, oh, I could just get to
Oh, be ready
watch the
be
movie.
ready next week for Kelley's movie.
Oh heck yeah.
Be ready.
It's a train wreck.
Oh no.
Yup.
Can't wait for that one. But yeah,
Can't wait.
it was nice to have somebody else on here. And especially somebody who loves the movie as much as you do.
Yeah. I know. Jordan's like, are you sure? Do you want like to pick it this week? I'm like, oh, can I? Because I know exactly what I'm doing. Yeah.
It's like, do not give me a platform. I will
Do
go all
not-
day.
Do not give me a platform to talk about Tangled because I will. Like, even though I know the movie so well, I was like, you have to summarize it because you're going to get very distracted. Be like, well, but this part happens. And this part,
Yeah.
oh, but then this part, like, I knew I was going to be all over the place because, like,
Yeah. That was
just
me
wanna-
with Princess Diaries. I had to watch it twice
Oh, yeah.
because I had to watch it just for me. So I could like just like not I could just like gush about everything and then I had to watch it one more time and like actually pay attention and like
Yeah.
write down everything. Because I
Be
was like,
prepared for Sabrina's upcoming podcast, Tangled, in my hair. Like it's coming.
Where I just deep dive into every scene. I just deep dive into that one scene.
Yeah.
It's like
Each episode is a different
scene.
scene.
Yeah.
yeah, it breaks. And then after that, she'll break down after the movie, she'll break down the soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack, the characters.
Okay,
Yeah,
she'll go into
Then the
character
bo-
design.
Then the bonus content.
bonus content, yes. Yep. She'll
Which-
talk about the TV show.
Well, fun
Ugh.
fact that I should have mentioned earlier with the facts.
Uh-oh.
But for the bonus content, they did have like these like spoof like advertisements for like perfume called Smolder by Flynn, a hair commercial, a frying pan little like advertisement. So
I
they
would've bought a
really
frying pan.
me too. So like it's really cute. Like just little extra details that they did. It's just
Yeah.
such a fun movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But-
We will not be talking about the show. I'm sure it's a great show. But
Oh, I didn't watch
literally,
it.
I tried to get past the animation and I couldn't.
Yeah.
it's a very
Same.
different style.
Nothing can top the movie for me. So, but yeah.
Well, thank you for listening. If you made it this far,
Yes, we say that every episode. For the real ones out there.
this is a long one.
Yeah.
This is a long one. I will try my very best to cut stuff out. I will try.
This is basically Sound of Music Part 2.
Yeah.
The length.
Don't forget to follow us on our social media.
Yeah.
We have a Twitter and an Instagram. They're both at SYTYI Podcast. Send us your movie requests and your movie stories at our email and answer our questions.
Yes, please.
Still waiting on you, UK.
Mm-hmm. We see you. You cannot hide.
I see you. You cannot hide. Brazil, I see you jumping up there too. I see you.
Let's go.
We did not have any Brazil-based questions, but like if you happen to know,
Yeah. Or you know what?
Go ahead.
Recommend us like a good movie,
Mhm.
but like locally directed. You know what? And then we'll have questions.
Yeah.
Don't disappoint us like the UK did.
Oh my
Such a
gosh.
disappointment. Yeah.
I'm coming out swinging today. I'm sorry. I'm not normally this aggressive.
All of you throw your tea bags at her. Not me. Will you
I feel
leave
like
me alone?
you shouldn't say that.
Sabrina's like, okay, I'm gonna go now. I'm not into this Discord.
Our email is sytyipodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to share us with your friends and your family. Subscribe to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And leave us some reviews on Apple Podcasts.
Please.
Also, don't forget to wear your mask.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget to wash
You-
it.
You know the deal.
You know the deal. Wash your hands.
And stay iconic.
Stay iconic, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.